plop it away.
Hey, how's it going? Let's see, poor drone. Go, drone, go.
This reminds me
Go,
this drone is
go.
scary.
You can make it.
Okay, no, it's normally scary. I used to think it's scary. Now it's just
Oh,
sad.
All right, there we go. This is the drone that Gavin and I got.
I did not expect that.
Gavin and I got for VidCon.
Are you firing at me? That's some good height.
Even when you expect it, by the way, you still jump.
Yeah.
That's what you were talking about, Burnie, like jumping at.
Yes.
We should all do introductions. Hi, I'm Burnie.
Hi, I'm Gavin.
I'm Meg.
And I'm Ashley.
No
So-
Gus, no Barbara.
Yeah, they are very, very busy making RTX happen, and we're just
Which is
not gonna help
somehow-
them, so fuck off.
Somehow this week. How did that happen?
Yeah.
It happens
No.
fast.
Yeah.
Time.
And it's actually been longer than normal
Yeah,
since the last
funny.
RTX.
I'll help you.
Thank you.
Is this a twist off, or are you setting
a
me up
thing
for
right there.
disaster? There you go.
It's a twist off. I just got it halfway.
So listen,
I did
right,
the hard part for you.
right before we went live, Meg was telling a story that she has. She
like
needs
a
a new.
story about brushes.
You're doing this wrong. You have sponsors.
Oh, hey, our sponsors this week are. Right before we
excited.
started the podcast, Meg was talking about something. She said something Ashley does reminds her that she needs to buy a new wet brush.
No, I said.
Not something that I
Ashley, when
do,
I see
something
your
that I
brush,
have.
I'm reminded that I need to get a new wig brush
Oh, you say wig brush.
because wig brushes, or Ashley has an extension brush, which are the same thing, and they have metal.
They're really
teeth.
hardcore.
So you
So
want
they
I've
come
used this
through.
brush that you have at home.
yeah, you're
Right.
always
It
talking about how it
hurts.
It
hurts.
hurts. That's for synthetic hair.
It's like brushing your hair with a pincushion.
But
So you weren't
more
saying-
importantly, if you have a tangle in your hair, it doesn't care. It's ripping it all out. Honestly, that's
what
probably
it's-
why
yeah.
I've got like short hairs up at here where I get a lot of breakage. I wonder why that happens.
yeah, probably because you're using a wig brush on your head.
So it wasn't wet brush after all.
No, but Wet Brush is the name of the brand that I have that I use for my hair. That's nicer to your hair.
And I
said-
asked her, "Is it a brush for your hair when it's wet?"
And I said, no, not specifically. It's good to your hair when it's wet, but it's also for when it's dry.
How many brushes do you
Just
have?
one. That's what I'm trying to communicate. Is I don't have a bunch of special brushes. Well, I guess
I've
like
got,
wig
like,
brush.
you have a wig
You know
brush. You have a
what? You
wig-
got me there.
You have a wig brush,
Yeah.
a wet brush.
And that's it.
Do you have like a daily utility brush?
That's what I'm saying. The wet brush is all you need for regular
Gavin?
hair.
I'm gonna ask you now. How
Go
many
for it.
brushes do you have?
None. I mean, I have a Roomba. Oh, imagine if there was one for your head that just drove over it in the morning across your pillows.
You can hit the button on that thing and turn it off. By the way,
That
On
would be
top. Just hit it
horrible.
once.
A
Just tap
Roomba
it.
for your head because our Roomba gets stuck on about 500 things every day.
Okay, I bought a Roomba at the
Pissed off.
recommendation of Gavin.
If you
and
complain
Jeff.
about the Roomba, you're wrong. All right?
Yeah.
It's a fantastic piece of
You
equipment.
just have to
obviously
always
you're
have.
being very defensive.
Yeah, you have to always have a house you just moved into that you've never ever lived in ever. Because if you've ever lived in it, it will get caught on shit. Constantly.
Really? Because we
It-
had the opposite
Shoes,
problem.
Look,
Gone.
We had the opposite problem where we
Cat toys.
started using it, and at first we were using the Roomba, and it was getting stuck on everything. It managed to wedge itself under a couch somehow.
It never went back to its dock.
No,
Like for 3
ever.
weeks straight, it never once.
you know
went
what
And
your
back.
issue
now-
is?
now it's
House
fantastic.
too big.
Is that what it is?
I don't know.
goes in
No,
the
ours
walkabout.
is just like it gets like caught.
Just turn that damn thing off.
It gets caught on. We have animals. Animals
It
don't
gets
know
caught
how
on
to
your
clean
animals?
up. No, it gets caught up on their stuff, like the cat's toys and Penny's toys. It eats
Basically,
them.
when I lived alone,
Goodbye.
my Roomba was fine. It used to go on many adventures
Oh.
per week.
Yeah.
Never got stuck on anything because I'm
Well,
not an animal.
Maybe the Roomba is
and I don't
jealous.
put stuff on the
Hey,
floor like
you know what?
animals.
When you live alone again, it'll never get stuck on things.
How quickly do you regret the couples podcast immediately?
Yeah.
Well, we're what, like 4 minutes in?
Yeah, nailed it.
So far, it's brushes and
so
Roomba.
2 minutes.
I like to keep
Hey,
a
this
nice, clean floor, is what I'm saying. I don't like to kick stuff. I broke my toe at the weekend. I don't like to step on
Which
things
toe did
like
you break?
my little toe.
How'd you break your little toe?
By kicking my
I
suitcase,
kicked
and
a
also I would like
suitcase
to
because
mention.
why is a suitcase in the middle
Oh,
of
that's
it?
funny because your suitcase and your carry-on are also downstairs.
I'm just gonna sit here and drink beer. I'm really,
Don't try and out me when you have more suitcases on the floor than I do.
really sorry you guys are breaking up.
Me too.
But seriously, a broken toe. I'm guessing it's broken. It went all crooked. But
Oh, please.
Well, living
He
with
acts
somebody
like
else.
it was hanging off his foot. He just kicked it and was like, ow, and then moved on with his life.
Living with somebody else, though, when you have a mess around, doesn't matter what it is. When you make a mess, it's like, oh, I made a mess. I gotta clean
Yeah.
that up. Somebody else makes a mess. It's like, this is disgusting. What are you doing? This is filthy. This is absolutely disgusting. I had to go home, by the way, to fix. Our house has a trash compactor.
Which
Yeah,
have you ever
oh,
even
love.
seen one
Well,
of
like
those?
a
Yes.
baler?
I did
What do you
never
mean?
seen
Oh,
one.
they're so
Does it
great.
make bales
Towards
of
this
trash?
house.
You
No,
open it up.
yeah.
You put trash in it. You shut it. You do a little thing where you put your foot under a switch and you lift it up and it goes mush.
Yeah.
It like mushes. You can hear it. It's like slow. It goes mush. And then
does
when it
it
gets to the
go?
bottom, it goes like it's crushing stuff.
Yeah.
Can we
It's
put a load
awesome.
of fruit in it?
the kids have been loading stuff in there like light bulbs and everything.
Eggs.
Yeah, they eggshells, but it's like it doesn't work like that for some reason. It doesn't really crush anything; it just mushes it. Just
No,
gives it a
it's
mush.
wonderful. My parents had one when I was in high school, and I loved that
Well,
thing.
I think the one that's in our house was bought the same year.
Yeah,
that your parents bought
they
theirs.
were all the rage then.
Yeah, because it's like super old, and I had to get it fixed today. And basically, there was a service call. It was $89 for the guy to come out to work on it. Because this is the wonder of home ownership, is that you're responsible for every little thing that goes wrong. And the thing wouldn't open. The mush thing inside wouldn't run anymore, and the door wouldn't pull out. It wouldn't open up. So the guy comes out, $89. He walks in. He looks. He goes, I don't know. Gets on the phone for like 2 seconds. He goes, okay, I'll try that. He like literally like pulls it a little bit so you can look inside of it, and he reaches down in there and pushes a button, and it works.
So there's a
That was
reset button on the.
$89. I guess I'm paying for the knowledge.
Yeah, at
But
that point.
JD was with me. I had to watch the whole thing. He goes, you paid that guy $89? I go, well, he came all the way out here. He goes, like, he doesn't deserve $89. Like, I'm like a chump. And I'm like, I feel like I should like
Hit
tell
him,
the
Dad.
guy, I'm
Hit
not
him.
paying you.
Yeah, but
Your kid's like, you're a chump.
you
He
have
did.
to.
Like, chump.
My kid says you haven't earned it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like,
You have to
something
value
else.
people's time.
That's
and he
true.
spent probably the same amount of time there than he would if he fixed it. Like
It's
with
true. He did,
gubbins.
he did use minutes on his phone calling the person who knew more than he did.
To be fair, the thing about home ownership, where you're saying you have to fix every little thing, you really start to figure out as a couple how far you can go with not fixing things.
Yeah.
We are down to me cooking in semi-darkness in the kitchen because 2 of our 4 light bulbs are out.
Oh,
Yeah.
you know what the best
Neither
part-
one of us is going to replace them.
Let me tell you how you beat that system. Here's how you beat that system. It's a little bit more expensive.
You buy 100 light bulbs.
No.
We wanna
When-
do
When
that.
they go out, you buy LED bulbs, and then you'll never change those
I
bulbs.
would love that. I
ever
would
again.
absolutely love
But
that.
they're not very-
18 years.
They're not very bright though, are they?
Listen,
And
you
on the
listen to me.
18th birthday, you found out it wasn't
18th.
his?
18 years.
Thank you. One person. No, the thing about it is you can tell that the people who lived in this house changed all the light bulbs at the same time because I think in the last month, like 7 light bulbs have gone out.
Yeah.
It's been a string of light
How
bulbs.
much is an
disasters.
LED?
tough.
Why is it expensive?
There's
lasts-
more.
because it
They're like
lasts forever.
$1 more. They're not.
Yeah,
like,
that's
hor- it's
actually
not
probably
huge
nailed it.
bulbs.
It's probably why they're more expensive.
It's like if you're not going to be replacing them every year, they want their money.
Yeah.
They deserve it. I'm
You know
all
why
about it.
Tesla gets blocked from a lot of states for selling there is because not because of the state, it's because of the automotive dealers, the associations. That's who blocks them in Texas.
Because
Like
you
the
never
like
need
the
to repair
lobby
them.
group. Yeah.
Yeah, they're like cronies at this
Because
point.
you can buy them directly. Because one of the big things about that where auto dealerships make a lot of money, they sell a lot of cars, but then they also make a lot of money from service, like oil changes and stuff like that. And electric cars don't need any of that.
don't
Electric
need
car
oil?
doesn't need an oil change.
Where would the oil go, Gavin?
I don't
Well,
know,
you could
just
do
like to
lubrication.
Keep the lube up, right? In the
For what?
there's stuff spinning in that thing.
You
like
gotta
a,
know.
a
Get
wheel.
that lube.
What?
Do you have to lube wheels?
No.
I don't have a car. I don't know.
Every now and then you just have to stop, open the door, and go. You're pretty much
You
good.
imagine if everyone had to do that? Like everyone hits a red traffic light,
Everyone
all the
gets
doors
out.
open, a foot comes out, and people just start flobbing on their wheel.
Spit on the axle, you'll be fine. It'll all be good.
I'm
but
all
you
out.
think
Can you
about,
come
like,
spit
Show it a
on
little respect.
What's that?
Just spitting on it. I just-
Well, when you go to buy a Tesla or when you go to price out one or budget one, they calculate all this stuff like your electricity. They calculate how much money you make per hour versus not sitting there like filling your car up with gas, and then oil changes figure into it as well. They pretty much figure everything they can into it to justify the cost. of
Yeah,
getting
they're
the
like,
car.
no, seriously, this is a good deal.
Yeah.
You're,
I'm actually.
you're gonna save. You're gonna save like 5 minutes a week on filling up.
Dude, I had to go fill up the truck the other day. I had forgotten like what the process of filling up like so 22 gallons in the truck. How long it takes to do that. I felt like I was standing there like 20 minutes filling that thing with gas.
It was probably fine.
You know, I've never done that before.
You've never filled a car with gasoline.
No,
No, and
he's
people
never
have
been
asked
the
me to
guy
do
who
it.
hops out and is like, baby, let me do it.
I just wouldn't know what to do. I'd mess it up. You know how like there's all
You
those.
would know. How do you not know what to do?
Did you ever see that video of the guy who was filling up his car and then he decided to like jump over the hose while it was filling up and the whole thing just caught on fire? That would happen to me. I wouldn't even try, but I'd
I
end
don't
up.
think that's a real video. I don't
Yeah.
think that ever happened.
He was bored and tried to like
Somebody
hurdle
threw
it.
a match at him at that moment. There's no way that he caused that.
I saw a video the other day.
Orange
though.
mocha frappuccino.
What's
Your
that?
your friends too can't not die in freak gasoline fight accidents. Come on, really?
Zoolander?
I don't know.
I don't know what that is. Oh, Zoolander. Are you happy with the Zoolander
like
2
a
trailer?
Zoolander like tear lately, ma'am.
Well, so the Zoolander 2 trailer came out on the weekend. Or I didn't know this, but apparently it was a leak. And by the way, I was really upset about this. So I was really excited. I saw the teaser. I think it could be a better teaser, but I'm excited about the movie.
Yes.
And
I agree with you.
And it had lots of little funny in jokes.
I
But here's the weird thing. So I tweeted like the link that I'd been shown basically, and Paramount issued a DMCA takedown on my tweet.
Really?
You can take down a
saw
tweet?
her.
Yeah, and here's the thing: it wasn't embedded. It wasn't like
Bad
the video
girl
was
got a
not.
tweet taken down.
What's up? Like, you know?
Paramount came after you,
Okay.
taking down
Jesus
tweets.
But here's the thing: it's like the video wasn't in the tweet. It wasn't part of the tweet. It linked to an external website where that video was hosted. You can't DMCA that.
I think actually you can, because isn't
You're
that the
sharing
argument?
pirated material.
Isn't that the argument behind torrent sites? Is that they don't actually host any of the content; they just tell you where to go to get it. But they've now made the case that linking to copyrighted material, and before you start, you can stop writing the email right now. I'm not saying whether or not I agree with this. I'm just saying this is what's happened. They use that in order to take down stuff like the Pirate Bay. Didn't those guys just all go to prison again?
I don't know. I
They
feel
keep
like they're in
going
and
to
out.
prison and
then
they're not
like
going to
getting
prison?
out, but then like the one of them went to prison, and then one
But I
of them
mean,
was out.
One of the-
Do you think they just like go like Rochambeau? I'm sorry, rock paper scissors, and decide who gets to go to prison this week?
Yeah, like who will take the hit?
And
Did
then
you call it
it's like-
Rochambeau when you were in Utah? Is that what they
No,
called it?
we called it Rochambeau in Australia.
Rochambeau? Is that what they said? Do you do rock?
Is that
paper,
racist?
scissors?
I have no idea.
I think it is.
I have no
I
idea
don't
like
think
what it
Rochambeau
stands
is.
for or what it means. I've only heard like Rochambeau.
Okay, now you're
If
talking
it
about
is, by the way, we say to the audience, if it is racist, right there. She said
tell
it.
her.
Sorry.
The inadvertent racism is always the worst. When you find out later, like you think you're totally fine, and then you find out later.
Yeah.
I'm not sure this ever happened to me.
It's happened once to me. and it
You never
was
been
awful.
accidentally racist?
I've been
Awful.
accidentally racist
I don't
a
think
lot
so.
of times. Like I never knew the etymology of the term gypped.
He always said he says
Yeah.
gypped constantly.
When I'm
Yeah.
like, I feel like I've been gypped, and I never knew what that meant. I didn't know that it was a reference to like it was about gypsies.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of offensive, isn't it? And like, although, yeah.
Pretty much everything that you can possibly say is offensive.
Yeah, to someone.
So this weekend, you were talking about Zoolander 2. We saw the teaser trailer in the theater. We went to see Mission Impossible. And the worst thing in the world happened ever in the theater.
What's that? What
Why have
happened
you
again?
done
Did it
that?
have to do with Gavin's beer by
it
any
didn't.
chance?
What happened there,
What
buddy?
was the worst thing in the world that happened? Did
How do you
Mission
do
Impossible
that?
play on
So
the big
we
screen?
went. Okay, how dare you? It was really good. So we went to this theater where it's you get like a love seat recliner.
Oh yeah, you
and-
were telling me about
Yeah,
that.
it's like
and
supposed
let's
to be
preface the story by saying that we don't go to the Alamo anymore because it's just full of bastards who talk
all the time. And
They would
like,
be very upset to hear you say
do
that.
you report them?
well, normally it's not like
All you have to do
no,
is raise a
an
card.
order card,
I
right?
don't want to stop watching the movie so I can write down, hey, the bastards behind us are loud.
Wouldn't
pricks.
you feel that much better if you get them kicked the fuck out though?
The thing that gets me is it's with the Alamo that we've had. The problem I've had recently, at least, is not people talking like, "Oh my gosh, isn't that so great?" Blah blah blah. It's people talking to their damn waiter, and then their waiter like also talking back, which they have to do. Totally get it, but it's like somebody talking.
No, but the waiters are loud.
and they are.
Like, I'll even go like, I like quesadilla. Do you want salsa? Dude, it's a movie.
Yeah. Well, what happened to me last time was I went and I sat down, and the guy next to me showed up late, and then the waiter was like, "Hey man, I'm gonna be taking care of you. Have you ever been here before?" And the guy was like, "No." So then the waiter went through his whole spiel about how you order, and the movie had already started. I was
To
super
be fair,
unhappy.
wasn't it previews?
Well, still, shut the hell up. I want to see what's going to be coming out.
Okay,
So where do
I
you
really
go?
like the previews as
So
well.
we went to this place called iPick. It's at the Domain, and it's like, I think it was $60 for 2 tickets.
Wow.
Because you get like a love seat recliner, and you're not
You
near.
get to take it home?
You're not near anyone. We were like, all right, let's give this a shot.
It was like 40. I don't think it was
It was
60.
60.
It was 60?
Yes, it was 60.
All
You should
right,
be
well,
in the movie.
we're not going there again.
So
60.
we get in there. We're all like tucked in. We're so
You get a blanket
excited.
and a pillow, and it's
Yeah.
awesome.
In the middle of the
And,
movie,
like,
really?
Tom Cruise goes,
Yes.
we got to take down the syndicate, Meg. That makes it worth it.
It was so lovely. There's like a waiter who comes and gives you all your food and everything. It was wonderful. And these 2 fucking guys sit down behind us, and they're talking so loud before the movie starts, and we're already like, fuck. And the movie starts, they do this thing, like somebody like punches somebody in the face, and they're like, nighty night. You don't get to
Yeah,
respond.
there's a bit where like something bad's happening to Tom Cruise, and the guy behind us is like, there's no dialogue because it's like, oh god, and he's like, she's gonna have to dive in and get him. Yep. You have
Oh,
to do that.
God.
And then there was like an intense moment at the end. It's all about to kick off, and there's like a moment of just like 2 people looking at each other. You know it's about to kick
That
off.
building
and it's
suspense.
silence.
there's
No
silence.
music.
The guy behind us goes, bum 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 bum, bum, and it's like,
I was
you're humming the theme tune now. God damn it!
so
Really?
loud. Like the whole theater for sure. Like And at one point,
Nobody said anything to this dude?
So one point I turned around when he was like 99. I turned around, I was like, really? Like, shut up, obviously. And they did not give two shits.
Well, now
And
I had an audience.
I
Now I
was
had your attention.
praying for an order card to raise about the two cunts behind me, and I did not have one, and I missed the Alamo.
$60.
Fuck, I was so pissed.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
I
the
saw
worst.
them in the parking lot, and I almost yelled at them in the parking. Like, I wanted to drive by, like,
That's it. That's the picture of the
Did you
place.
Yeah, that's it.
It's
You
lovely.
just drive over them.
I thought about it.
That actually used to be a bigger deal, like those kind of movie theaters. They had the gold class cinemas. They had them,
They still do in Australia.
yeah, I think they might have started in Australia, and then we got them here, and then they came and went. Like nobody ever went to them.
There is a danger with them though. Like, I was shooting all day. I got up really early that day, and then we saw the movie at 10 p.m.
I'm sorry. What's the danger to the recliner?
So here we go.
You'll fall damn asleep.
Yeah,
like,
fall
I was.
asleep.
It's a
Yeah.
long movie, and I was just like, oh, it's too comfortable.
That
to
sounds
watch
really
it.
pleasant.
Yeah, but you know what kept you awake? The cunt behind us.
Yeah.
So
Shout out to that guy.
Prick.
angry.
Yeah, it's just like that level of furious where you want to do something, but you also don't want to raise a fuss. Like, I want to watch the movie. I don't want to yell at some
Like,
idiot.
it's like you want to enjoy it in spite of him trying to
Also,
ruin it for
I got to be
you.
careful about getting into fights, because say he punched me, then I'd obviously try and punch him back, even though he was quite big. I'd go for a face shot, right? But then what if I get deported for that? You can't punch someone
Yeah,
in the
you got a
face.
problem.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
got to stay out of fights, man.
Or you just get sued.
Don't worry, I got this.
I got my ringer.
I was the one who turned around and was like, I was like, I got you, baby. I'll get him. Really?
But it only happens in...
That always happens, by the way. I think most fights are started by women.
Well, and that's what I was when I saw Trainwreck in the Alamo. I was like, oh, this is me.
I've only really had this in America, though. And it made me homesick watching that movie. I
Yeah.
was like, I need to go to England for like a day just to...
Just to watch movies?
Yeah, just
Yeah.
to get out of the way.
You know, I fell asleep in episode 3 when I went to go see it with you.
I fell asleep too.
Yeah, and I fell asleep while watching it. Were there at least good snacks at the movie?
Actually, the food was really, really good, and it's like free popcorn and everything.
Yeah,
which
well,
is
it's
awesome.
ruined, though.
I
Ruined.
do like the
It
free
was
popcorn.
ruined. It was nice.
Speaking of
That
snacks,
comes out of the $60.
that's how you do a segue, Gus. Not, I need to read this.
Remember the voting system that we had once upon a time, where they were like, "Hey, vote on all these snacks. We're not going to order anything you voted on." Like, we voted for all
You
this
just got
stuff.
outvoted, maybe.
You voted?
No. We voted for all. First of all, I creeped on the voting so hard.
Try these.
What are those?
These are little pretzel balls. Honey macadamia pretzel pops.
Throw one at me.
Here, they're going that way.
Um,
They're so good.
we
They're gonna
voted
ruin the
on
rest
all
of the
this stuff,
podcast.
and then it just never arrived. And then we got all new stuff. But actually, it's been really good lately.
Hey, check out what I'm gonna say to my pretzel pop. Nighty night.
I wanted to say nighty night to this, guys. It's
Oh.
just a level of selfishness I've
She's gonna have
never.
to come save him.
I've never like. Why? It's like people. I went on this Twitter rant like 3 weeks ago. Like people who laugh during scary parts of movies or emotional parts of movies.
Oh
There's-
yeah, that bugs me when it just like someone doesn't get it at all.
Well, and like the girl next to me, the whole movie she came in, she was like, "I'm so high. Like, oh God, oh I can't watch this movie. I'm so high. Can I get a drink?" She's like drinking the whole time, and then she's like laughing. And the guy, it was clearly a date, and the guy was at the end he was like, "Wait, I think there's a post-credit scene for Ant-Man." She's like, "Oh my God, I really want a lifted truck," and he's like not listening at all.
lifted
That was like
truck.
she went on about her damn lifted truck for like 20 minutes, and then the end scene plays, and he's like, "That was cool," and she goes, "You made me wait for that." And he was like, "Let's just go." It was like just this horrible date that just kept bombing.
All right, let me throw some of you ladies. Let's say you're both single. Like something horrible happens to Gavin and I. You're both single. You meet a guy, gorgeous guy, good job, interesting person, lots of personality.
That's a very vague description.
That's just a,
I'm
it's
into
a, It's
it.
a likable
I'm
person.
into him.
Thank you, Meg. Follow along with me here. Huge dick. But you go out, he takes you out somewhere, you see his car. It's a jacked up pickup, and it has the fake testicles on the back of it.
I'm out.
Is that an utter deal breaker?
No way.
I'm
I'm
out.
so in. I don't give a shit about your car.
What about the
He's
fake-
amazing, dude. He has a great job. He's sweet and
But
sensitive.
here's the
I don't
thing.
give a shit. Put
Is he-
testicles on your car.
Is he? If he has one of those giant jacked up monster trucks with testicles, if he has
Here's
to
the
give
thing.
his car
Specifically the
balls,
testicles.
I want you to know that if you walked away, you were like, "No, I saw your car and I left." And then I was like, "Baby, I don't care. You can have whatever car you want." And then he was like, "I know. It was my dad's, and I just keep it because it makes me think of him."
Is
And
he-
now I have a sensitive man.
Are you-
Are you, while
are
Meg
you-
is doing this,
are you
she's gently
stroking him?
rubbing her microphone. Backhanded, too.
What are you caressing there? The testicles on the back of the truck?
no, you gotta cup
He had a
those.
big dick,
How
I
do you,
would.
how do you think it works?
She's using the back of her hand like she's touching a hot pot. She's like being careful.
Touches a hot bomb in the back of
Or they're electrified fence to like you touch it with the back of your hand. You know why you do
never
that?
seen
Why?
like in a-
Because you can
Yep.
get it away faster.
You don't
because
touch-
You can't go zzz.
Yeah,
because when
that's
it
it.
pushes you
There
back,
it is.
it'll
There's
push you in.
the testicles.
There you go.
That's real.
And it even says got nuts. What if you had a got
don't
nuts
care.
license plate?
Can I
Do
say
not
though?
care.
You got to ride around to your sensitive dates in that truck.
Don't take my car, baby. I've got one.
No, you
What-
can't do that.
What if you
I'm not
put
saying
balls
a
in your
truck. It could
car?
be.
No, we can't put balls on my car. I'm sorry.
It could be any kind of car. Like maybe he's an athlete. He wins a Super
Right.
Bowl and drives off in a Hyundai.
Yeah.
Kanye.
I got it.
There
I know.
you
I
go.
came
Thank
back.
you. We're gonna do those all day.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I did find out about fake balls though is you can get them for your pets. So, for
Yeah.
example, Joe the cat is a fixed cat. But if, for example, we thought he was missing his balls, you can buy fake balls for your pet, just like silicone balls. It's like getting a boob job, except for your.
Oh, you
cat's
mean
testicles.
inside
like
the scrotum?
implants,
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought you
Yeah.
meant like hanging a fake
Nope.
set of things off his tail. I was
When
like,
you-
that's, why
That
would
would be-
When one of yours went loop,
That would be weird,
Would
Gav.
you have been? Are there several models of fake testicle you could have picked from?
Well, I didn't lose the testicle.
Well, I know, but I'm asking, did they even breach that subject, or they were just like, we got it, and you didn't have to worry about it at all?
I
No,
wouldn't.
they
I
would
wouldn't
never
get a
went through that.
prosthetic. I'd go with the one.
I wouldn't
with
either.
that.
And what I'd do is I'd rotate which side of the scrotum my ball was in, depending on which week it was.
Can you do that?
You can do that.
Yeah, I
What
think you could-
separates there? Is there any separation? Yeah. There is, and you can put.
Thank-
So we have an expert now. On
Thank you,
one
doctor.
testicle. Well, how did you? Do you mind if I ask how you lost your other testicle? I had a tumor in my left one. Really? Okay, so that's a very.
It was the first thing I asked him the other night when we were.
How would you ask him?
Wait,
you
how
never
do
asked
you-
me
Because
that.
he told me that he had one ball out, and I was like, "Do you ever swap sides?" And he's like, "Yeah, it feels weird."
Really? Then just going the other way. But it's also I would not get a prosthetic. I would rock the one ball because then you'd be able to like tell people I have one ball.
Here's the thing, I
That's
don't-
your in.
What?
I don't feel like
What am I
I
looking
would.
at? Is that
Those
Dorothy?
Those are
sizes?
different.
You
Those
can
must
get
be
different
different
sizes?
implants.
So apparently
like a
testicles
row of
run all
anal
the way
beads.
from like little rubber ball to gigantic
Weird
ostrich egg.
Is that like A cup to D cup, except in balls?
That's an enormous ball.
We need some scale there. Like, I don't know which one
Yeah,
I
I need
would
a
have.
banana for size.
The ones on the
was
left
that
are
for
bigger.
lions?
That's your scale. That's all the scale you need.
Here's the thing, though, about like if you had one ball, I don't know how long it would
do have
take
one
me
ball.
to notice that.
I also have another.
Like I don't feel like you just see ball. Like they're not like boobs. Like you don't just see those. I'm not like, hey, let me check out your balls. Like
be-
you don't see.
Well, you'd have to
those.
feel it, wouldn't
Chances
you?
are, by the
guess.
time you get down to seeing one ball,
You've probably
like,
done.
that's probably not a deal breaker at
Yeah.
that point.
Well,
Whatever
it
you
would
do,
be.
like-
You're
It
in.
would never be a deal
No,
breaker.
it would
but-
be for you because you said you'd break up with me if I lost a finger.
Let's talk about this because, like, weird, like.
If I had a
no
stump.
offense to people who don't have all their fingers, but it's like
I'm out.
if you like lost a section of finger, I feel like I would feel creeped out by you touching me with your short finger.
my
So a
little
guy,
stuff.
a guy that used to work or write for Drunk Gamers back in the day, his name was Skylock. He lost a finger while we were all working on Drunk Gamers together. And he lost it in probably the worst way I've ever heard of someone losing their finger. And he came home drunk from the bar one night, and he was trying to get into his house, gets out his keys, fumbles his keys, drops them like in a little sewer grate, like it wasn't that far down, reached into the sewer grate, pulled his hand out, and just caught his finger. His finger stayed in the sewer
Oh,
grate,
he
basically.
like degloved.
He
it.
like
oh,
he like popped it off
all the way
at
off.
like the second knuckle, his pinky. Just like that was
Wow.
it. That was it.
Well,
He just-
I went to high school with a kid who was holding onto a rope, and I think it was attached to a boat or a truck. But either way, the vehicle went, and they wrapped around the last knuckle of these three fingers, and it just pulled them straight off.
Yeah.
And he would always tease me, like, still love him, still my friend, but he'd always be like, woo, and I'd be like, ugh. It's just not something I want to be caressed by. I'm sorry.
It's probably just
Here's
as
the thing,
soft as a
any
fingertip.
other part, like you could lose your
Softer than-
arm. It's just your
My whole arm?
fingers. Like it's just a little strange to me.
Meg, think about this. There's no nails to get caught anywhere.
Well, there shouldn't be
there's the
anyway.
end of a bone- there's the end of a
Through your
bone.
hands. Also, what is it getting caught on? Ugh.
just scraping. Just scraping.
Maybe scraping. Okay, but, like my
not getting-
lumpy
it's not getting
vagina. Caught.
Pulled my finger out, the whole finger came off.
Like, do you ever see when a cat is like scratching something and it gets a nail caught very clearly it's caught, but it tries to play it off like it's not caught. It's like
It's
it's
just-
just standing there with its like claws stuck on
Yeah.
the couch like that.
Or
Our
like,
cat does that
or like
with a
in the
mat.
screen
Yeah.
of a window, just going.
It's like, I'm cool.
I'm just
cool.
waving.
Well,
What's up,
our
man?
cat will start like. Remember when he got his paw caught under the refrigerator? He like got his paw caught under a part of the refrigerator, and he was like, because it was really really hurting.
Yeah, sure.
So I went to help him, but then he attacked me while I was trying to help him, and
Yeah,
I'm
they
like
blame you.
screaming, "I'm trying to help you!" Like that's gonna make it any better for him
Yeah,
at
you're
all.
just the person hurting him and yelling at the same
Yeah.
time. That's the way he sees it. Yeah, animals are really dumb. Like you can't ever help an animal. That's dogs, especially when they're hurt, because they
See,
just
Penny,
they'll
I
bite you.
can. Penny is obedient enough that I can be like, stop if I'm like hurting her.
Probably you can.
No, only me. Because if Gavin tried, she would definitely not let you do it. But anything that doesn't feel comfortable to her, if I'm like, stop, she like overrides. She just like chills out until I'm done with whatever I'm doing.
I recently found out that Gavin is not a dog person. Like
Hates dogs.
Well, the dog hates me. Therefore,
Penny loves you
whenever I touch the dog, it pisses everywhere.
because
right?
she like it's a sign of submission.
Yeah, but don't submit on the kitchen floor. Right?
Also, I'd like to I would like to point out that you shout at Penny a lot, and so she's terrified of you. So every time Gavin comes over, she's like excited but also so nervous.
So
When
she loves you, but she's scared.
she
Well, it's
pees and then you
because-
yell and then she pees more.
It's because sometimes we'll come back and she would have just like raided the trash can and like shredded food, and I'll come and I'll be like, "You idiot! You stupid!" And I'll just yell
Gavin
at the
just
dog.
doesn't understand how dogs work. Like,
You can't call them an idiot because then they pee on you.
no, you have to punish them for
Who's
what they
idiot
did
now,
wrong.
Gavin?
Yeah, exactly. You have to punish them for what they did wrong, and then you move on. There's not like 2 hours. She doesn't understand an hour later why
Doesn't
you're yelling
understand
at
a
her.
grudge.
No,
She
the animals.
doesn't at all.
It's actually one of the worst things about animals that, like, if you discover something they did hours ago, you can't punish them for it.
Because they don't understand.
But it's new to you.
God, if
But
that was
Penny-
true for humans, it'd be a terrible world to live in.
Yeah, like humans don't
Officer, I
understand.
killed her yesterday, okay?
Oh, you don't do it again.
If I catch you doing that,
The
you're
thing
in big
that's
trouble.
the worst about Penny is she's extraordinarily smart.
Cops hold your nose in a dead body. Don't do
Look
that
at
again.
that. Look what you did.
You're the worst person ever.
Gross.
Penny's really smart, so she like is conniving. Like you didn't remember when we first started dating, you were like, oh, she can't plan things in advance. But now you realize that she does.
Yeah.
She like we had an egg roll that we had like Chinese food, and we'd thrown everything away, but this one egg roll was like in a bag on the coffee table. And Penny got up. We like now we have the drop cam so we can look. So she got up on the couch and like just casually sat near it the whole morning. So like we wouldn't like really look at it. She was just kind of like, oh, it's good. And then we're like, all right, we're leaving, bye. And as soon, and like literally the door's like, ka-ching, she's like, oh, just like goes to town on this egg roll as soon as the door closes.
And what is the deal with dogs in that? Like, they just freak out at the moment they have no supervision whatsoever.
Absolutely.
That's what cameras like that have taught us, is that dogs are fucking lunatics.
Yeah.
One of my favorite types of videos online are the ones where they find some kind of destruction in the house and they have multiple dogs and they're going asking which dog did it. And it's so clear which dog did it because they're so guilty. When they're tearing apart the trash, do they just think, this is the best thing ever? And then immediately like, oh, shit.
I imagine
what-
the dog gets drunk with excitement, and then afterwards it's like a bad hangover, and you're like, "What did I do last night?" And it's like that for the dog. It's like, "What did I do 16 seconds ago? Look at this mess."
Well, Penny tries to like clean it up or hide it. She's really notorious for like jumping up. She can hit the kitchen counter and pull the bread down. So if it's anywhere near the edge, she can reach it, and she'll tear into the bread, eat like 6 slices of bread, and then try and stuff things that are bread shaped in the bread bag. So if it's like she thinks if it's the same size,
The
we
dog's
won't
there
notice.
with a bag of sand, just like
like Indiana Jones.
She thinks like if it's the same volume size, we won't notice. So she'll put like a sock or something in where the bread was missing, or she'll take the bread
That's
bag.
pretty smart.
Yeah, she's
Yeah.
really smart.
And then I'm eating a peanut butter and sock sandwich. And then I'm like,
You're not so smart.
Yeah.
You need to watch out for that dog, Kevin.
Yeah,
I think
she
that dog's got
definitely
plans.
outsmarts you. She'll also like shove it under the oven. Like she'll just take the whole loaf of bread and shove it under the oven. Like we would never notice.
She'll just
it's
destroy the evidence.
there. She's gonna catch the house on fire for sure. The other day she was out and she was like 10 feet behind you and she followed Gavin out so he wouldn't notice she was out before he left. Because we put her away when we
Really?
leave. And so she like got out of her cage before we left, and then she just like Gavin was going this way, so she just like tailed him around so he didn't notice.
Really, just stayed in your blind spot the entire time?
yeah.
You know what do that? Kids do that. Kids have an unbelievable ability to find your fucking blind spot and they just sit in it. Like I'll be somewhere like an amusement park with Teddy. I mean, this was back when he was like 6. And it's like, where's Teddy? And I turn, I'm looking, I go, where's Teddy? And he's like literally just like sticking behind me. And he's not trying to hide. He's just sticking in my blind spot, trying to stay out of my way while I'm looking for Teddy. He's like, where's Teddy? He's looking
He's just
around.
like-
And then finally you spot him in your blind spot. You're like, Jesus, kid, get up here.
I would hate to lose a kid. Like you see those like
It's, dude,
that Louis C.K. episode is awful.
so much panic.
Have you ever done that? Have you ever lost a kid?
No, I've lost a kid for like 15 seconds,
Yeah.
and it's 15 seconds of utter dread. Every time I hear an announcement like on this the PA systems where they're like, hey, your daughter's here at the front. That must be the biggest sense of relief because I know they've been looking for that kid for like 10 minutes probably.
I was always that kid.
I used to lose my mom
Always that
constantly
kid.
at
You
the
got
grocery
lost?
store.
I did that
Oh,
too.
yeah.
I got lost all the time too.
I got lost at Astroworld once. There's like a photo in like our photo album of me at like the Lost Kids Center with like my dad picking me up at the Lost Kids Center, like, ah.
I got lost intentionally as much as possible.
Why? It's awful.
Because I got to spend time alone.
You want to
What
get away
kid
from your
needs
brother
that
and
much
sister?
alone time.
Yeah, my brother and my sister just like, I was just like, ah, this is nice.
Like a runaway.
I'd go like read magazines or something.
I would do a thing where I would be following my parents and then I'd look up and it's not my parents that I'm following.
Oh, yep.
I did that all the time.
You had a Home Alone too.
I was like a duckling, basically, just
I
like,
was like,
latching
"Ooh."
on and going this way, and then I'd look up and I'd freak out. But my mother also did this thing, which I'm embarrassed to admit. She always dressed me and my brother exactly alike when we went anywhere in public.
Smart.
So we'd have the same green and white striped shirt on, and it's just like all our photos are like that. It's like
Green and
but-
white stripe. Were you a rugby player?
something like that. I mean, it was always like the green and white striped one is always remember like blue checks or something like that. And we're sitting there in the same goddamn outfit. But it made
That's
it easy
handy
to
for
find.
when one of you gets older, like you have a hand-me-down that already fits.
Yeah, or she'd lose me and she would show to like the security person, I lost one of my kids. I don't know which one. It looks just like this one. Yeah.
It's a matching set to this one.
Yeah, just find another one that looks like this.
That's really
Have you
smart.
ever found a missing kid?
Yes.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, here's the problem though, is that I'm
You
an adult
can't.
male.
You
so I
can't
got to
and you
stand
can't.
about 5 feet away and go, it's going to be okay. Like, I can't get anywhere around him.
Yeah,
You know?
I wouldn't talk to a kid on its own.
Isn't that horrible? That's
It's-
so
it's-
horrible.
You took to a kid on its own.
It's weird.
You're just well,
I'd probably keep an eye on it, but I wouldn't be like, I wouldn't approach the kid or like interrupt the kid.
just like, are you still breathing? Cool.
Watch it
what
from
if the
afar.
what if the dad walked up and lamped me in the face?
Not
Yeah.
at all.
That's the danger. In fact,
We dealt with this just recently because we went to New Orleans and we weren't New Orleans wasn't the whole trip. New Orleans was like a stopover we went on a vacation with the kids. We stopped over in New Orleans. I thought I'm going to introduce the kids to New Orleans, just let them see it. New Orleans smells like old beer and vomit. The entire city, the
and,
whole French
and
Quarter.
a whole lot of outdoor pee.
Yeah, and outdoor pee. And the kids absolutely hate it. And then Teddy hates loud noises. Like we have to give him earplugs at like Marvel movies and stuff. Although he's getting past that too. But he hated New Orleans because there was a big drum line that was performing like on Bourbon Street.
In the middle of all the pee smell.
Yeah.
So you can imagine.
Yeah. Well, Austin smells like pee too, though.
What's that?
Austin smells like piss.
I don't think
New
so.
York does. but not Austin.
back on Congress, it was always pissy down those alleys.
Yeah, there's some.
Congress
Yeah.
gets pissy.
Well, down
Yeah.
around 6th.
Once you get near a bar, you're kind of like all bets are off.
Yeah.
I think.
So
was
what
actually-
happened with the lost kid there?
Oh, we didn't lose a kid. What were we talking about? New Orleans.
I have no idea.
Oh,
We're talking
no.
about
We
finding
were
a
at the
kid.
aquarium. We were at the aquarium, and it was a picture that you guys have seen with Ashley had the bird on her finger, looking like a little Disney princess. There was a parakeet section of the aquarium, which I don't know. It
You
doesn't
would
make sense in
love
hindsight.
that.
For
But it was-
whatever
it was a
reason, every
blast.
aquarium seems to have a bird section.
But this is parakeets. I mean, this is like 50-cent birds at the pet store. There was like 1,000 of them, but it was really cool to go in there. Anyway, we weren't in there. we were in the frog section, and we were looking at these little frogs in this little tank, and we were trying to find this orange one. I found it was back behind the log, and so I lifted my kids up so they could see it.
Was it like a famous frog or something? Why were you trying to see it?
It's orange frog. It was in the thing, and we were trying to find all the frogs.
Well, how'd you know it was in there?
Because it's on
It's
the
on the
sign.
signs.
Because it said, this is this frog. Everybody's like, where's the orange one? There it is. And this other kid next to us was like, where? I can't see it. I can't see it. So I was like, I don't give a shit. So I like reached out and grabbed the kid, picked him up, and I said, here, see that? And then I set him back down again. I'm like, Gavin, I'm like you. I was like totally prepared to like get in a fight with somebody over that.
Yeah.
The
Or
fact that I
arrested.
helped the kid see this orange frog.
No
that I picked him
way.
up.
I'm
Yeah.
very like at conventions. I just tweeted a photo of me holding a baby. Someone had a baby, and I was like, oh, can I hold her? And
Well, that's
they,
fine
like,
though, because someone would have to given you a baby, unless you just picked up a baby off the
Well,
ground. That would have been.
just
Yes.
like, oh, free baby.
I guess. I
Like,
don't know. When I
Imagine
went
this. There's a little lost kid, little lost
Right.
girl. She's in like a little princess dress or whatever. She's lost. She's crying. And I walk up and I say, hey, I said, is everything okay? And she's like, I lost my mom or whatever. I said, well, okay, we'll help you find your mom. Then somebody else walks up and here's a grown male talking to a crying girl. And it's immediately your problem.
See, I don't think that. I feel like I mean, maybe it's different because I'm, again, a woman. I think it is different. But I wouldn't, if I saw you like, hey, are you okay? And then pick her up, okay, let's go find mom. I wouldn't think that was a wrong situation at all.
Unless you walked up later, then like you weren't there for the first part of it.
Maybe.
I'm definitely
I
too.
don't know. I don't.
I'm too British to deal with problems like that.
Yeah, see,
I would
like,
just
I've-
stand at a distance, maybe wait it out, see if it turns out all right, and then head on my way.
It's also, I mean, the perspective of it too is, hey, there's parents looking for a lost girl. Where are we going to find her? Where are we going to find her? Oh, she's with a strange man walking looking walking in some direction. You know what I mean? That's a recipe for disaster. I mean, I've been in situations like that. It's people just assume the worst whenever like grown male adults get around kids. It's unfortunate.
What's like that plane thing?
Yeah, where they cut off the Qantas thing, where
Yeah.
they move the guy. We've talked about that like I think 1,000 times on the podcast.
Well,
Yeah,
that's because it's still insulting.
it is still insulting. We just talked about it on the Colton podcast. So somebody wants to know, Matification on the website wants to know, did you hear about Jimmy Fallon degloving his finger?
Yes, that was
Yeah.
freaking crazy.
Caught his wedding ring, fell down.
So he no longer wears one, right?
No, I don't think he can anymore.
Right.
I don't think.
Wait, what happened to his finger?
So he had this weird thing. They ended up canceling the taping of the show because it was a super normal thing. He slipped and he knocked his finger on the counter at his house, and his ring caught, and it basically separated his finger from itself. But I think it was. Am I right in this? It was still inside the skin, just like everything had come disconnected.
Yeah, he's
They
like
had to
he thought he
transplant
broke
some
his finger.
tendons.
He thought he broke his finger, and they did an X-ray. They go, nope, your finger's off.
Oh, so it's still
That's-
connected by the outside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
stuff,
So they
but the
had to do
bone's
like
off?
this microsurgery. It took something like 6 hours. They had to transport different tendons.
Well, this tendon's
from
speaking
someone's
And blood
leg.
vessels from other parts of his body.
And a lot of times they can't save the finger. But in this case, they managed to, because you don't not save Jimmy Fallon's finger.
Right.
Yeah, the host of the Tonight Show. You're
So
probably going to work a
he
little bit
didn't
harder.
deglove it. He did like the opposite of degloving it.
See, ring avulsion.
Ring
That's what it is.
avulsion.
That's what it is.
Degloving it is taking all the skin off.
You got a bone right there. You got a bloody bone.
No.
Subscribe to our What the Fuck.
Don't put a
That's-
picture of that up.
that
Yeah.
is-
I'll vomit.
We won't-
that
we
is
won't put a
the
picture of
least
that
of
up.
your worries, and that's
You basically then have a bloody bone and like a
it's all
finger
like
glove
the yeah
just sitting
exactly.
there, like a
Just have like the
blanket.
skin
Just
sack.
draw a face on it and give it to a kid. It's a new finger puppet.
It's amazing how quickly this goes from being a very important appendage to your fingers to being like basically a bone blanket.
Yeah.
You just put around
What's
the
what's
bones.
crazy to me about the body is that the skin is an organ, and you need the skin to live.
Yeah,
And that's weird because it's really just a container, but it isn't. It's nuts.
it is nuts.
This has been
That's
Deep
right.
Thoughts with Gavin.
Like you can't live without skin. Like how
So-
much skin do you need to live?
Well, how much of you is there?
Yeah.
Like how
So
much
say-
skin can
what
you
does it
lose?
cover?
Say I
That's-
lost all of my right arm's skin.
You lose your arm then.
My arm's gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's whatever
You
you
need
lose the skin on.
over whatever you want to keep.
You're probably not going to keep that arm. Probably not. Because
Yeah, I
it acts
don't-
as like a barrier to infection as well.
Right.
Like it
Yeah.
seems like I know burns get infected pretty easily, but it also seems like if like you get one of those, like it's not a cut, but it's like you lose like the first 6 out of 7 layers.
A scrape.
And you're like,
Massive scrape?
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
it's
you're
where
like-
the blood comes out.
Yeah,
you're
in,
like
like,
kind of at a
little
super
weepy
spots.
level.
straight.
Yeah, that seems like it's bad news too.
Oh, you know what I hate is when it's not even blood coming out of it. It's just like saline.
Yeah.
It's just body juice
It's-
coming out of you.
It's
You're leaking
plasma
out.
or something like that
Ugh.
leaking out. It can cross the membrane.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Just think.
Thanks
if you
for bringing
were-
that up,
If you were cooked.
Yeah, matifications.
If you were cooked, that's the stuff that would keep you juicy.
Let's go back to talking about finding lost kids. Oh my God! Please, people are not posting stuff on what the
No,
fuck.
don't
Please do that.
don't. There was a really really terrible one on there I saw earlier today. I don't generally gag at that stuff, but it was. Do you want to know what it was?
It's a dangerous
Yes.
conversation. No, I don't want to know.
This is constantly us in bed, me going like, ooh, oh my God, okay, I just saw someone break their foot off. Do you want to see? And he's
No,
like, no,
okay,
no,
so
no,
this-
no. And I'm like tackling him with
This
No,
was
never do I want to see that.
potentially worse than any. I've never seen anything on there before that made me like literally gag. It was first of all, it was a vagina.
Okay.
Nope.
Is it blue waffle?
Nope.
I don't know what
Gavin's
waffle
gone.
is.
We want Gavin to be on the podcast. He's gone.
Just go. I'll come back in a minute.
Is it blue waffle?
I don't know, but it was.
That's
it
a
had like
vagina.
a crazy advanced STD, and then there were maggots in it.
Oh. That's your vagina
I thought you
pals.
deserved 2 microphones for that one.
It was pretty severe. They
How do you
were
get to that
They
point?
were
How do
they
you
were
get to that
dancing
point?
around.
That's got to be like a third world country, no access to medical.
Nope. Nope.
You
I
don't
would
think
still
so?
like if I had that on my arm, I'd go like this. Don't need
Well,
first
yeah,
world
but
medicine.
you're
to
not
go,
like. I mean, that's like something you can see. You're not like.
Guess what? I would go.
Thanks,
flunk,
thanks for being not on the wide for that.
I would do that. I
so-
mean, I have a butthole. Spoiler alert! I have a butthole.
Would you be like butthole out, just like flink?
If
flunk, flink?
if I had stuff in my butt that was working its way around, I would get rid of it.
Here's either
Get that out of there.
Here's either the good news or the bad news, depending on how you look at it. Is maggots only eat necrotic flesh? They only eat something that's dead,
Right. There's no maggots on
that's
me.
rotting.
Gotcha.
No, I'm just saying that you don't have to worry about getting maggots then.
I
and
hope
if you
not.
have maggots, they're eating away the necrotic flesh, and that's a good thing.
They use them for treatment.
Right,
Of,
yeah.
like bad tissue,
Right,
like
yeah.
for like people who have like bad circulation in their feet.
Exactly.
And
So
it's
if they're
poor
crawling,
Gavin's like, this is a couples podcast, and somehow we started talking
I
about
thought this would be a nice one.
parasites and disease.
but basically, if they're crawling around, you want to leave them there, right?
What's that?
Because they're eating something bad.
Yeah, I guess so. No. I would get rid of the maggots and then go see somebody about the bad stuff.
Okay.
I would
Put a cream on it.
yeah, something.
Did I tell a story about how my dad found a load of maggots in a wheelbarrow?
Oh God, no.
It was
What?
like a wheelbarrow. We just came into the garage one day and it was just full of maggots.
Why?
It was like someone just poured like 6 buckets of maggots into
Like
the
tiny
wheelbarrow.
little ones, or like
Just like the grub ones, like this big.
Was it
They're
your
all-
wheelbarrow, or
Yeah,
did
it was
this
in our,
wheelbarrow
it was
just
in our
show
garage.
up?
It just was full of maggots one day. So we didn't know
did
what
you
to
go in the garage that often, or was
Yeah,
it?
I mean, we
What
probably
had
hadn't-
been in the wheelbarrow
nothing.
before?
It was empty. So we don't know if someone put maggots in our wheelbarrow. Anyway, and
It was
he,
an
didn't,
attack.
he didn't really know what to do to get rid of them. So we just poured boiling water on them, and it just turned into like a big thick paste. And then we poured it
Ew.
down a drain.
That's horrible. That's
You
the worst
tortured
thing
some
ever.
animals and then you poured them in a
I
drain.
don't think that's torturing them though. I think that's quite. It's better than squashing them all, isn't it?
No, I feel like
idea.
hot water would take longer to kill them. Also, I'd just like to point out, I like that you think that somebody attacked you very passive aggressively by being like, someday they might find these maggots. So British. You're right. It could be true.
How much
really
water
could
did
be.
you boil? It's a wheelbarrow.
It was like 2 kettle worths of water.
Just 2 kettles?
Yeah.
How big
So you
were
made
your
maggot
kettles?
soup.
Yeah.
Oh, it was just yellow sludge. It
I
looked like,
can't
it
even
looked like a
imagine.
vat of
Gavin,
custard.
I can't even imagine. And you put it down the storm drain, I guess?
Yeah.
Some people's drinking water.
I can't believe that. The best part is I wonder if you like started to pour the wheelbarrow, but then stopped, if it would continue to like schlup over the edge, like in one connected
Yeah, it was like
gelatinous
the
mess.
worst paste.
How
Ugh.
much do you think got on you? Because there's got to be a splashback on that. Because like the first pour has got to be.
Yeah. Well, you like this, Gavin. This is while we're on the topic of gross stuff. We have a little bit of a problem in our house. One thing that we argue about is that Ashley will buy food. I will buy food, and it's for everybody. Ashley will buy food, it's just for her. But then it gets eaten. After like 4 weeks, a chocolate bar in the cabinet gets eaten. And it happens. And she gets upset about it. Totally understandable, but give me a break. So the other day she had a breakfast bar or something that she had bought. And I took it to the set of $1 Million. When we were shooting, because we shot at like 7 a.m. for one of my segments. So I grabbed this little breakfast bar and went and I was eating it there. And I was like, well, this is interesting. It's a little different. What is this made of? It's like, okay, it's pomegranate, blueberry, and cricket flour. And I was like, cricket flour? I go, that can't be like flour made out of crickets. And I look on the back and it says like Aranagus domesticus. Like it actually was like the 4th ingredient. I'm like, what is that?
How do you get flour out
And I
of
looked
one?
it up. They made it was a cricket. She had a fucking cricket breakfast bar.
Wait,
that
please tell me this. You did this on purpose to screw him over.
I'm so glad that he ate it because otherwise I got it to try and see if it was any good. I didn't know it was cricket flour. I just saw the blueberry pomegranate. I thought that sounds nice for breakfast sometime.
Cricket flour?
Cricket was in pretty big letters. Cricket flour was a
How
big
did you
deal.
get flour?
I think she felt too bad and didn't want to own up, and she did it to get you to stop eating her shit.
So
No,
was it
because at
just like
first I was really upset that he ate it because I had got it specifically so that I could try it. And now I'm really glad.
I gotta read up on cricket
That
flour
reminds
here.
me of.
So do they just like harden a cricket and then just grate it into
Yeah.
powder?
And they get a pestle.
I don't know that they grate it so much as they probably just ground it. Just.
That's not.
Hey, do you
Food?
remember when we got that cheese?
But it is food and it's a protein.
Do you remember
It's
we
an
got that
incredible source of protein, apparently.
cheese for our picnic?
Cheese.
We first moved in. We were like, we're going to
Okay,
go
tell
on a
us more.
picnic, and it's going to be so great. Remember that? And then we got this like special cheese. It was like
Special cheese.
it was from HEB. It was like in that weird little cheese section they have that's like, oh, we're fancy.
It's
Like
just
the artisan
it's just the
cheese?
cheese
It's
section.
like just, but it's
a
like made
weird
to look
cheese
all.
section. It's just a cheese section.
No, it's not just like a regular store cheese section. There's like a person there. It's too fancy for HEB.
So it's like the cheese counter.
right, but it's
It's like, where's your Munster? It's like, oh, it's in the weird cheese section.
it
sir.
is the weird cheese section.
Let me walk you down there.
You
But
want
it was
cheese
like
or weird
this
cheese?
You gotta walk like this.
interesting- It was like this like super herb, like Mediterranean herb cheese. It was like something weird. So we were like, oh, this looks great. There were little cubes and they were in this little fancy plastic thing. And we took it home and we opened it. we're like, we're just gonna have a couple cubes before a picnic. We're just gonna dab in just a little bit. So we each eat one, and then we're like, oh, this is really good. And Gavin goes to get another one, and then he goes, what do you think this green fuzz is? And I'm like, he's like, it's got to be like an herb, right? And I'm like, oh my god, it was all moldy, and we just
Fuzzy
didn't eat
herb.
any.
How many have you had? How many?
Herb on your cheese.
It was one of those things where you're just like, nom, 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 what is what's on this fifth one that I've eaten?
It just turned itself into blue cheese. Don't even worry
I mean,
about
that's
it.
what it is. When you like take a macro lens to some blue cheese, it's just fuzzy mold, isn't it? Like
basically
veins
cheese
of
is
mold.
moldy.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
it's
it
very
was-
carefully molded.
It was like the day we bought it too. We were all excited about our fancy cheese, and it was mold.
Yeah, mold in general is not too bad. Like even when they do aged steaks, they make them all nasty and moldy, and then they just cut that part off.
Ugh, gross.
Yeah, if you have like a block of cheese and it's molding, just cut it off and keep going.
I think the only thing that's if it's got mold in it that you should watch the fuck out
Bread?
is peanut butter.
I've never
Like-
seen
Oh,
mold in peanut butter.
that's
Mold-
super dangerous. Anything
mold
that
that
can
grows
grow in peanut butter is like
Yeah, it's really
hardcore, right?
dangerous to have mold in peanut butter. So if you see mold in peanut butter, don't even try it.
And don't eat green potatoes.
Why?
Yeah.
What?
Poisonous.
Yeah, those are poisonous.
You know, not to spoil anything, but we've been talking about the book The Martian, which they're about to make in a movie with Matt Damon. And he ends up eating a lot of potatoes for a specific reason in that book. And I kept wondering, like,
Because he's Russian.
Can you eat raw potatoes? Can you do
because
that?
he's Irish. Wait,
Both.
both?
both.
I don't
No, if
think
he's
you
Russian,
can.
he drinks them.
He's Irish Russian.
I don't
Yeah.
think you do eat raw potato.
It's raw potato. I'm going to look it up.
You
I have
can
the whole
eat raw
internet right here.
potatoes.
Yeah, but
It's just not good.
Wouldn't it make you
Seems
vomit
gross.
after a while?
Is there anything? Potato is
Everything makes you
the most delicious thing any way you cook it. You can make double stuffed jacket potatoes or baked potatoes or fries or potato salad, or you can boil your potatoes. You can do anything with potatoes.
Here-
Raw potatoes, disgusting.
It's true. I actually like most vegetables raw. Like, I prefer raw peppers and mushrooms than cooked ones. But,
Yeah.
not a potato. Ugh.
Fair enough.
Good for a spud gun.
Here's
Yes.
you want
Have you
the
tried one of those?
you want the
Those are
scoop
so
on
great
raw
for the
potatoes?
bazooka.
What about potatoes?
Here's a scoop on raw potatoes. This comes from Livestrong.com. It's like a theme today for this.
Believe it
podcast.
or not, I get a lot of my nutritional advice from Livestrong.com.
It comes up.
Yeah,
pretty,
they must
pretty high at
pay
the top.
Google because it's always at the top.
Yeah. Okay, because they are indigestible, raw potatoes, uncooked potatoes pass through the upper intestine with very little change. They arrive in the lower intestine largely intact, where they begin to ferment under the influence of intestinal bacteria. It's a really like.
Wait, so you can get drunk from the
Drunk
inside?
from the inside
off
is
raw
great.
potatoes.
That's awesome.
The result of this fermentation is the production of gas, which causes bloating, cramping, and flatulence.
So it
Okay,
gives you the
maybe
Although
guts.
none of these
Maybe
effects
not. Okay.
are a threat to health, they are uncomfortable and very inconvenient. So I guess you can't digest a raw potato. So good luck on that. You gotta
I wonder
cook it.
how much fart
So it's like
one
corn?
potato gives you.
I never heard something that's indigestible raw, but then you cook it and you can eat it. Like, I mean, a lot of things you have to cook to eat them safely, but like, I could eat
Chicken?
I could eat a chicken if I caught one. I could just eat it.
Yeah, but your body can use the chicken, though. It's the same situation, isn't it?
I don't think so.
What does your body do to the chicken?
Don't you get like salmonella from that?
No, I don't think you do get salmonella for that.
From raw chicken?
You
So
can.
was in the podcast we were talking about the French salmonella test they did, where they wondered why people in France never get salmonella? It's because they don't wash they don't wash their eggs, and the fact that we wash our eggs contributes to them getting salmonella.
Because it washes protective dirt off.
First of all, I think
Or
salmonella is overrated, but I think you can
think it's
actually
overrated.
everything like a cat eats a raw chicken. I mean,
Does it?
a fox
Does
does.
it? Oh, maybe a
What-
fox,
what-
but I don't know
what
what
do you
cats are
cook it?
eating raw chickens.
I mean, I can eat. Take out like parasites stuff like that. You can eat a pig. I mean, pork is one of the most dangerous things to eat raw because of parasites. But I mean, other than that, it's like if those parasites didn't exist, you could eat raw pork
Yeah, but
and digest it. I mean, that's what
If
animals
it
do.
wasn't for all the stuff that's unhealthy for you, you could eat it raw.
exactly.
No, what I'm saying is it's not indigestible. Like your
Right.
body can't do anything with it.
So you're asking what is indigestible? It
Yeah, why does it make it? Why does it take something cooking it, take it from something
probably
that's inert?
separates some bonds.
Cooking is basically chemistry.
Cooking is basically chemistry.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's right.
That's the new
You-
cooking show.
What, you really don't think so?
cooking is basically chemistry. You mean when you like make a
Cooking-
recipe?
Any sort of cooking is chemistry. You're changing its
yeah.
makeup, but cooking breaks down proteins. That's why with your sous vide steak stuff, you can only leave it in the heat for so long because
so
the
good, by
protein
the way.
breaks down. That's all chemistry.
I don't think we can only leave it in for so long. Is
Yeah,
that
you
true?
can.
I mean, listen, I get what you're saying. It makes a reaction to it, so yeah. But it's like cooking is chemistry. It was kind of funny.
Guys, don't break up.
I know. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. By the way, I ate all your food. Just so you know.
I know
You know,
you
your
did.
cricket dust.
Good lord.
I
We're not-
actually
love that.
My
I
journal's
had to
ruined
start,
by
like,
what the fuck
hiding my
images.
chocolate. Yeah, I've got like chocolate stashes all over the place in case I need like emergency chocolate because he eats all my chocolate.
I have a
Well,
whole
Gavin
drawer.
has a whole drawer.
I've got a drawer of English
Yeah.
chocolate that
An
I import.
entire drawer.
I tried to have like a "this is just mine, please don't eat it," and that never works.
We don't have anything that's like, this is mine, please don't eat it.
We share everything.
If we shared everything, I would get nothing.
That's horrible. I don't eat any of your chocolate.
Bernie's
though,
really snacky.
to be
Are you
fair.
going
You
to
are very
Ireland?
snacky.
Are you going to Ireland with me?
Sure,
Okay. People are asking if you're going to go to Ireland.
sure.
All right, we're going to go to Ireland.
Want
like
to go see some castles?
2 weeks from now.
Have a Guinness in Dublin.
I'm dying to do
Obviously.
that.
It's different somehow.
It is. I've heard it's very different.
Like, it's different here and in Dublin. It's also different in England.
Well, it's not behaving like a
not-
tourist.
it's fresher.
It's closer to its origins.
Right. It's like when you get a bagel in New York. It's different. What are you saying? Why are you looking at me like that?
A bagel.
Didn't you say that you think the
Bagel New
reason
York.
the bagels taste different there is actually the water,
Yeah,
like
that's
the
what
minerals
people
in the
say.
water?
Like I think even home slice pizza like ships in water from New York.
Who does that?
I don't know.
I think they
I
ship
mean,
the
besides
dough.
California.
You
By
guys
the
ship
way-
dough in?
By the way, like eating pizza in Italy, I was like, no, I've had this pizza in New York before. Like, just nothing about Italian pizza was different than.
Well, it's an American invention.
So,
The weird thing.
No.
Yeah, totally.
No.
Here's the
Look
weird.
that up.
Here's the weird thing about the Italian diet is
Internet
that
it.
tomatoes are indigenous to America. So before 1492, they didn't have tomatoes in Italy, and also Marco Polo brought noodles pasta back from China. So what the hell did the Italians eat?
Olives and wine.
Olive
Basically,
oil.
olives and cream, right? That's what they ate the entire time. Olives and
wine.
cream.
And wine.
Yeah, lots of wine.
Lots and lots
Italy
of wine.
food was good.
Okay,
Italy food was
we're
good.
gonna ask the internet where was pizza.
Invented. What? Wait, what?
What's the
What are they?
complete?
Where was Pizza Hut invented? Where was they're actually one of our sponsors? Where was pizza invented? China. I don't know why they wouldn't know that. And then where was pizza invented? We gonna go with the first one?
Yeah.
Okay.
You feeling lucky?
No, not anymore because I see it now.
Oh.
The word pizza was first documented in 997 AD, so it couldn't have been America, unless the Navajos were making pizza in Gaeta, Italy. Gaeta, Italy. I've always
That
heard
fell
that
flat
pizza
on
is
your
an
ass, didn't it?
American
Wow.
invention.
Here's the thing:
No.
is there's a lot of people that I always think are American until I find out otherwise.
What?
Mostly actors. I had no idea for a decade that Hugh Jackman was Australian. Eric
oh yeah, I always
Eric
hear
Bana,
people like,
no clue.
I
Yeah.
thought Mel Gibson was Australian. He's American. He was an American living in Australia when he got cast in Road Warrior. Or Mad Max, I should say.
So you thought pizza was American, even though it's
No.
named pizza?
I thought pizza was Italian, and I thought I remembered somebody telling me that I was incorrect. Probably when I was a teenager, some dope had it in a fact book that they like made it at the state fair. I totally
If-
trust that it was made.
If
in
America
Italy.
invented the pizza, they would call it like lunch pie or something. They wouldn't call it a pizza.
Hey.
What?
your America hatred has been like a little, like how many times have we had this conversation in the last week? It's been a little much.
It's not America hatred.
has.
It was just that guy in the movie. who just
I
annoyed me.
know. That was, well, but you'd already like gotten warned about your America hatred and then that guy and it really took it over the
Hatred
top.
is you're talking about.
Gavin, do
He
you
hates
hate America?
I moved here. I live
He
here now.
hates America.
We'd also like to thank another one of our sponsors of the Rooster Teeth podcast. This episode is brought to you by. You guys have seen the hot dog crust pizza, right? You guys
Yeah.
have seen
No.
that. Where's that? Canada? They do that.
I don't know.
Somebody who's in the know who watches the podcast. Talk to us about that hot dog. No, go shut up. that was a collective shut up. I wasn't telling anybody in particular.
Uh-huh. Yeah, no.
Man,
We're
I
getting
wasn't
domestic in
telling you
here.
in particular. I was just telling both of you.
I had a bad run with Meg for a while. Like now we can talk about it. Where I
Here.
told Meg not to eat a Cheeto
Can you open this for me,
because she had her
please?
Playboy
It
shoot
was
coming
an
up.
oven baked Lay's potato chip thing
You had a
too.
shoot
To be
with
fair,
Playboy.
he was saving you from those. Those are gross. Can you just, like normal
they're
Lay's-
awesome.
Those are delicious.
Those are
No,
awesome.
I hate
love
those.
They're like
those.
I like anything that tastes like cardboard.
Oh,
I'm a sucker for normal
Actually
Lay's
like them.
chips, but the oven baked ones,
I'm
if
into
I
them.
eat them because I'm trying to be healthy, they just remind me how miserable being healthy is.
no
Here's how
way.
snacky
I really
am.
like them.
I've actually eaten those packaged stuffing things that look like Cheetos that are biodegradable.
Like
The one-
polystyrene packing peanuts.
No, the cornstarch ones they make. The eco-safe ones. You never seen those?
Go
No.
ahead.
Yeah, I've eaten those before.
Why?
Because they're good. They're tasty. And I was trying to prove that they were safe. And I
How'd that
saw
go?
a thing online where a guy did it, so I ate one too.
So they were the what? Digestible, but a raw potato isn't.
Well, it's cornstarch. I think they make it so
Yeah,
that like
bleh.
yeah, that's them. That's them. They don't use them so much anymore. Now they use whoever invented the air packs is like a brilliant person.
Oh yeah. Well, because
'Cause
Amazon uses it.
It's just
loaded.
big bubble wrap.
Well, then I don't know what happened. Like after I had that thing with Meg, which I was just trying to help out, but I was like, it looked like I was policing
It
what
was
she was
really
eating.
funny
It was
because
pretty
you were
funny.
like, so sure about that?
Yeah.
And at first I think I was like, oh, Playboy? No, I think it's going to be great. You know, it's not nude. It's like the thing that they're going, you're like, no, the chips. And I'm like, oh.
You just set them down the counter and just
I
walked
did.
away.
And Miles, you remember Miles was like, no, Meg, you eat those chips. He like
But he
came
didn't
to
know.
Miles.
Miles absolutely stood up for you.
did.
And then I
He
forget.
was full on girl power.
I forget what it was that happened, but it was here. Meg was walking this way. I was walking that way. And I saw Meg and she was doing something. I forget what she was doing. And I said, I walked by her and I go, smile, Meg. And I go, did I just tell you? She goes, did you just tell me to smile? Like she cut me off. And I have no idea why I said it. I never tell anybody to smile. And I told Meg to smile, which is like
What's
so
wrong with
insulting.
you?
I don't know why I did it. I don't know why I did
The
it.
worst thing, fellas, it's never charming. If you're like, hey, smile, baby.
Yeah.
Shut the fuck up.
Yep.
Like, that's it.
Well,
That's the end
because
of that.
it comes, you can't win because it either comes down to this: don't you tell me to smile, or some other
Yeah, it's
variant.
just a
Like
little,
it's never like, oh, I didn't think about that.
Let me just make your day better.
Because usually, if you're irritated about something, that's not gonna help.
Can you imagine walking up to a construction worker and going, hey, smile? He'd be like, what the fuck? Go fuck yourself.
Although if a lady went up to me and be like, oh yeah, you want to see me smile, baby? That's like the one voice I have for some reason.
That's your one street
It's my
walking
one
cat caller?
small voice. Yeah, when I told you about Playboy and you were, and then we couldn't talk about it. We did the binaural podcast. And we're
Yeah, you seem like a
there's
jackass."
something coming up, but
Yeah.
yeah.
I
That
mean,
was
it's still
a
a
fun
jackass,
podcast.
but I was a helpful jackass.
It was a fun
You were.
podcast. I had fun whispering in people's ear holes.
Especially the fake head.
Yeah.
Just being like, hey, what's up, buddy? Talking to a fake head is a little bit weird, but also really fun.
Yeah.
Like it's kind of freeing.
It was
We
amusing.
should get one of those.
Yeah, we should get one of those. We should. But I don't know. It's like that was actually on the RT Labs channel. That was probably the thing that did the best, I think, was the binaural podcast.
People really liked a day in the life of Joe as well.
Oh, that's true.
Joe the
That's
cat.
true. We were talking about this. We were talking about lost animals or lost kids. We lost Joe the cat. Like when we moved.
We didn't know. Here's the thing: we didn't lose Joe
No.
the cat. Joe the cat
walked away.
fucking walked away.
He was
You
like,
guys, let me just
What an
be,
asshole.
Let me just put this out there because I think maybe you're a little too close to the situation. You don't see it. I think you guys are being a little overbearing, and he just needed some time alone.
apparently so. Yeah. So we went through this whole machination of like, we actually. Is it okay to say some of the places? You
Yeah.
can put personal information. So I actually like posted on like R Austin, like that we were looking for Joe the cat, and somebody called it out. They're like, "Is that Joe the cat from Rooster Teeth?" And I was like, "Oh shit!"
Your cat is famous enough.
He was gone for 2 fucking weeks. He was gone, and we like had posters. We hired a cat lady.
You
I mean,
hired Ace Ventura.
We hired a pet
Yeah, we
detective.
did. We hired a lady who
So
could find
pet
cats.
detectives are real.
Yeah, they absolutely are. She was tracking like the wildlife trails around because there are a lot of raccoons and skunks in the area, and
A lot. I've seen Gavin-
We've had deers around our house.
Yeah.
and so she was like tracking these wildlife things and checking the holes under fences for cat hair, like just like a single hair that might have got caught on the fence to indicate he went this way. The problem turns out, do you have any idea how many people own orange cats? A lot of people own orange cats, it turns out.
I also found out that if a cat's lost, it goes in about a 250-foot radius, which there's utilities you can use online. You can pull like your point down, and it shows you what 250 feet from your house
They
is.
might go as far as 500 feet if they're indoor-outdoor
Then you do a
cats.
bigger one, which is 500 feet, and that's pretty much it. Like that's as far as they'll go. Joe, when we finally got him back, Ashley did all this stuff. She
I
hired.
had postcards sent out to like
Everybody.
1,000 households in our neighborhood.
God.
So in a 1
Everyone
mile
within
radius.
a mile of our house got a postcard
we
about
had
Joe the cat.
posters up everywhere. I had wildlife cameras we set up at like in other people's yards, trying to find him. I mean, we were desperately trying to find Joe. And then at the end, we just got a call from a lady who got his name on a tag. That was it. He wandered into her backyard, and she just picked him up on a tag.
a half mile away.
3/4 of a mile away.
How many
Yeah.
feet is that?
That is
Way
so
more than
half mile would be
500.
2,500 feet. So then it'd be like 3,700 feet is 3/4 of a mile.
That's insane.
My favorite part about
It's like
this whole
Homeward Bound.
process, because we're, like every day asking, like, is Joe back? And like hearing about all of it as it went on, was that people called Ashley to tell her that they also own cats. They were like, yeah, so I saw a cat, but I own an orange cat. And I'm like, who calls a lost cat number to talk about their own freaking
Yeah.
cat?
I had one person, get this. I actually had one person, I don't know if I told you
Yeah.
this yet, Meg. who they sent me a text message saying
We got Joe the cat back, by the way. You should
Yeah,
have
we
tell me that.
absolutely
Yeah.
got him back, but
We wouldn't have talked about it otherwise.
someone sent me a text message saying, I saw your posters up that you're missing a cat. We have a purebred Persian that's not adjusting to our move very well. Do you want it?
Yeah, they're like, we saw you lost a cat. You want another cat?
You want a shitty cat.
It's like you're desperately looking for your cat. Do you just want ours instead? Same thing, right?
So
It's like, hey, I lost my kid at the music bar. I lost a kid. So you're gonna, there's one.
there's one.
Well, I have twins and I only wanted one, so just take that one.
Yeah, that one's crying a bunch. Take that one. Doesn't want to go on any of the
This one's really
rides.
pissing me off. Well, so we used to let Smee outside. When we first got Smee, we let him be like an outdoor cat, and he got stuck in the same tree like 4 times.
You got a cat that got stuck in a tree?
Yeah, actually,
Yeah,
we
he's an
just
idiot.
got stuck, and he would just get up. He would get up to the same branch and then just meow, meow, meow.
The same
like,
one every time.
every time. Got
We'd
stuck in
climb
the
up
same.
and get him down, and then he'd just go straight back there.
and then
Just like,
meow. I think he was actually in the tree being like, na 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 na. We were getting him down. So he would just mostly stay in the backyard, and then he would usually come to the back door maybe like 30 minutes. Then he would like take an hour to come to the door. And then one Saturday he was gone for 4 hours, and we went out until like we couldn't find him. We went out to the underbrush like behind our house, and we're looking everywhere. Finally we found him in our neighbor's yard, and Gavin hops the fence and like brings him back. And then the next week, it had been maybe like 3 or 4 weeks after that happened, our neighbors, we saw them in the driveway, and they're like, hey, and they're like, hey, what's your cat's name? Shmee? And we're like, Smee. And they're like, oh, yeah, we haven't seen him. Is he okay? And we were like, yeah. You know, we decided we were going to keep him indoors after it took him like 4 hours to come home. So we were a little worried. And we're like, yeah, we just been keeping him inside. And they're like, oh, well, we miss him. We were like, wait, what? And they're like, oh, yeah, he used to just come in and take naps with our baby.
Yeah.
And he would just go in their house and take
Yeah.
naps with their infant
cat
child.
was cheating on us.
Joe the
with
cat
a better
did
family.
that. Joe the cat did that as well. In fact, our neighbors would send us pictures of Joe the cat walking through their house because their little girl fed him pink salmon.
So you feed him pink
I'd be
salmon.
annoyed if someone was feeding my cat and bragging about it. I'd be like, don't put stuff in my cat. It's my cat. I get to do that.
Apparently, most outdoor cats have multiple families.
Yeah. Gavin I want you to know that Gavin was truly devastated. And what the first thing you said to me when they said that was, if we have a baby, it won't be his first baby.
Did you really say that?
I remember saying that for sure.
It wouldn't be Smee's first baby.
So now he's an indoor cat forever.
Yeah.
Really? Because you're jealous?
Yeah.
Yeah, also
because of-
someone might take him.
absolutely because of Gavin's
Well,
jealousy.
that was the aggravating thing. Is like we were legitimately worried about Joe.
Right, the
we thought he
reason
was. I thought he got eaten by a coyote. I had almost convinced myself that a coyote had
Yeah,
got
I
him.
wasn't into work for like a week because I would get here and I'd get a call from someone saying they saw an orange cat outside somewhere. I'd go back immediately, search the whole area, and find out there was another resident orange cat.
Or we'd be at dinner
They're all really sweet. by the
talking
way.
about something, and then Ashley would just start crying and put her head on the table for a minute or two. I was like, oh my God. Then after 2 weeks, we get a call, race down there, 3/4 of a mile away, get Joe the cat, didn't give a shit. He did not care at all. It's like he just left.
We got him back in the house, sat him down, and he goes and goes out of his eats out of his food bowl, eats like 4 whole things, and then sleeps for 20 hours and just goes, heh.
the
Yeah.
nice thing though is
Joe the cat.
that he slept, which makes it feel like he's comfortable, and he's like, oh, I had my adventure, now I'm home.
Yeah.
So I think that was nice.
I hope he would have found his way back. That's what's not clear
I don't
to
think
me.
he would
Yeah.
have.
Yeah.
That far away, I wondered if he was pulling a little bit of a homeward bound on us.
What, trying to go to the old house?
Yeah.
Yeah, because we moved not that long ago.
Oh. Yeah, see, I have to went through all this stuff too. Guy River Jones on the website says, I assume it's a guy, could be a girl. Her name is River. We lost our cat years ago. Someone found it in another town very far away from where I lived and returned it to us. We suspected that our neighbor was putting out traps for the cats, and he also took the cat to the pound as well. Peel the Pound described our neighbor. So sometimes
the neighbor was
neighbors
just-
are weird about cats sometimes.
They
It's
just
just-
remove other people's cats?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like
Ugh.
we have a chip in both of our animals, but people don't check them enough. That's the
Right.
thing that drives
Dude,
me
we had
crazy.
cameras. We had a GPS collar on Joe, and we had
It
a
will
chip.
tell us the second he leaves the house. But because we had been away for a couple of days, the charge on only lasts for like 3 days.
yeah.
So we didn't put it on him because we figured it'd be uncomfortable and no point because,
He would die.
yeah,
She
it
was
would
really
die
upset
and
about
then
that
nothing.
too. She was worried that she had messed up.
Yeah.
I was
No,
so
I can't
sad.
imagine. You can't you feel so helpless. I don't have kids, but I imagine it's similar. Like when Smee was ill and he wouldn't eat, and I just sat. I just sat and cried and boiled chicken and please just eat the chicken. You're gonna die.
Did you ever see the video of the woman who just binned that cat?
Oh yeah,
What?
in England.
The crazy bitch woman.
Yeah, it's pretty
was walking
nuts.
by someone's
Oh
street.
yes, so she just like picks a cat up and puts
It
it,
was
in
on the
garbage
wall, just
can.
minding her business. She just goes, look, bins it, and then
I
walks
remember
on.
that.
And then her excuse was like, yeah, I don't know why I did that. I was like, what? You're
What?
a lunatic.
Yeah,
Go
that
to
could easily,
jail.
That could easily.
lunatic.
If you did that in Texas, that would kill that cat.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, because nobody would know that cat was in there for
And
like
it would
6
die.
hours.
It would die from heat immediately.
Yeah,
die from
absolutely.
heat, yeah, it'd be awful.
I can't. People are. That's why I tell Gavin about like having Smee outside. Is like people drive like idiots. Like there's always cats on the side of the road. Like people aren't stable
Uh-oh.
enough for outdoor cats.
Uh-oh.
in
Seriously.
Texas.
You just send Bernie off on a whole new tangent.
Meg, you've lived in Austin a very long time.
Yes.
I've lived in Austin a very long time. Something has happened. I
Gavin,
don't know,
we're both
in the
outsiders.
last 18 months, 2 years, something has happened where the quality of driving in Austin.
Let me
has
tell you
taken
what
a
happened.
Fucking nosedive.
Everyone who lived in LA was like, "Oh my God, Austin's the new LA," and moved to fucking Austin.
Ashley and I play a game, which is like we just go. We live about 15 minutes from the office. It's a really short commute. We play a game, and I thought we should just do it on Periscope one day. It's like, okay, let's just start off from the office, but we end up at our house. We can't do that. Maybe we'll go to dinner. We just try to drive in our car anywhere and not run into somebody that's just an absolute fucking lunatic.
Oh,
just
absolutely.
about the way they're driving.
We have bike lanes around here and around the office, and people. I don't know if it's like an education issue or if people don't care. That's not an extra lane. You don't
Yeah.
get to just drive half of your car in the bike. That's a bike lane. Get the out. Like it just drives me crazy.
Or just-
I would never ride a bike in this city ever.
The big thing now is like nobody's ever gonna miss their turn. That's it. It's like, oh, I'm supposed to turn left here. I'm in the right lane out of 3 lanes. I'm gonna go left, and it's like I'm just gonna try to work my way over at the stoplight to do that. It's like you missed your turn. That's what
it.
happened.
You go another block, you come back around.
Exactly right. Take a right here and then turn around and come back. You,
That's-
We were-
you missed your turn.
When we were in Anaheim for VidCon just now, we saw a guy who missed his turn, pulled over to the side, and then started reversing down the road. And he wasn't like
Gavin and I were
trying to
walking.
sneak in. He was like waving people by. He's like,
Yeah.
go past me. Go on, get around. I missed my turn. He was just like,
He missed a driveway to a hotel, and he backed up. Gavin and I were walking to dinner, and we were walking in the direction that he's backing up. So we're like catching up to this guy and starting to pass him as he's backing up, and he's looking in the rearview mirror and going like this, getting mad at everybody else and waving them around. And he backed up a quarter of a mile probably, and then got back to where the hotel was and then turned in.
Such an idiot.
And
That's
I said to the guys who went by, I go, "You're an idiot!" Like I was like, just couldn't believe nobody would call that guy out for
Isn't
anything.
it faster to just go around the block at
People
that
are
point?
not
Must
going to
be.
go around the block. It doesn't exist anymore. There's nobody who goes around the block.
my other favorite thing that people do is that because you have frontage roads here, right? It's like kind of like the highway, but it's not. It's on the side of it.
It is.
Sure.
That
You know
is
who
like
gets
an
freaked out-
injury
you know who gets
confused me
freaked out
about
by frontage
Texas
roads?
a lot.
Matt hates frontage roads.
Yeah, I'd never seen it before.
He
Why?
thinks frontage roads cause traffic, and I can't get him to explain why he thinks that is.
I don't understand.
Yeah, I
So
don't
it's
I
understand.
basically-
missed them when I didn't have them in LA.
It basically runs parallel to the main highway, and sometimes when there's traffic on the actual highway, people will just drive up over the curb
Yeah,
onto the frontage road and carry on.
Yeah.
And
pickups, a lot of pickups.
I was with Dan when we saw this. I was like, "There's traffic here. I bet you at least 3 cars here just drive straight over the pavement onto the other road." And it like 4 of them did. I was like, "No."
My
I called
thing
it.
that gets me
Whenever
is
I'm stuck in traffic, I just look at that wistfully and go,
Wouldn't it be good? That's got to be so illegal. Though.
It
It's got to be
is.
like your license take. You're driving
No.
off the road.
It happens all the time.
It's definitely a moving violation, but what gets me is when they do it in front of cops and cops are like,
Yeah,
and I'm
cops are
like,
like,
get him!
I get it if like you don't signal in a, I don't know, driving. You make like a mistake that you still
in a
drive on the
driving-
road.
you don't
didn't
signal in
signal
a
when you're
driving.
Yeah, but the idea of driving up off the road and then back onto a different road, you can't surely be like, "Hey, do you know what you just did?" And you go like, "No, I have no idea. What did I just do?" You just drove off the road.
No, you just say, I transitioned from one road to another road.
I got out of traffic.
Using some not road.
they're so common in
the
Texas.
meantime.
They actually have a name when you exit the freeway. They're called Texits. That's what they call them.
Texits?
They are. They're called Texits.
Tex-
That's an awesome.
The one thing I miss about LA that is here in Austin is the shittiest thing that's been imported is that it's that kind of selfishness of like, I'm not going to miss my turn or I need to get over. So I'm just going to like go and assume that you're going to get there. But people do it timidly here. Like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm going to be an asshole, but maybe not. And then they end up slowing people down even more. In
Yeah.
LA, it was so great because people suck at driving there, but they're so confident about it. And everybody knows to get out of the way of the people that are like, I'm just
Yeah.
getting over. And everyone's like, all right, cool. And they move on. But in Texas, it's like it's 5 times slower because they're like, I'm getting over. Ooh, am I getting over? Ooh, I'm getting over now. And it's like,
Yep.
just, if you're going to be an asshole, be a confident asshole.
And people text you nice, so you're a nice driver. Like, I'll leave like a gap for someone to get in. They leave their blinker on. It's like, you get to like 6 car lengths. And it's like, how much room
Oh,
does
I
this
know.
person
Then you
need
get
to
mad.
get
You're
in?
like, get
Get
over.
over.
You're like, I'm trying. How much space do you need?
You're like
know what?
mad for being nice.
Do you know the maddest I've ever seen a driver in Texas? It was before Uber was around here. I was in a cab with Dan, and Dan fired. And the driver was so mad. He like whipped open his glove box and pulled out Febreze, which I guess he just keeps there. And he started spraying it all around us and all in our face. And Dan was like, yeah, all right, I get it, I'm fine. And he's like, I have to put up with this shit all the time. And he's just stinky fart. He was really annoyed, like. And then he did it again. Dan farted again. And the guy didn't bring out the Febreze again. But we were laughing about it. And the smell kind of calmed down. And we were just like, yeah, good luck. And then all of a sudden I smell it again. And I was like, you didn't. And he was just like, yup. And I was just like,
Come on, that cab driver has had worse. It's not like it was vomit.
the guy
that's
opened
true.
all of the windows and sprayed Febreze. Like, he was not hiding the fact that he was annoyed by this fart. And it was a honking fart. It was awful.
Ash and I got back from a trip
Oh
from
my
the airport. We
God.
took a cab because we determined it was cheaper to take cab to and from the airport than to park the car there for like a week that we were
Why don't
gone.
you take an Uber?
So we took a cab back because I was under the mistaken the notion that Uber couldn't come to the airport.
Not LA?
No, they can come to the airport in Austin as well.
Yeah.
It just
Yeah.
turns out I was wrong.
Well, no, they can in LA now, too.
Good fucking Lord. The moment we got in the car to the moment he dropped us off, 20-minute car ride from the airport, the cab driver, yellow cab driver, would not stop talking about Uber the entire time and how shitty Uber was and how they were terrible for everybody and you should write your senator and tell him to stop Uber. By the time we get out, I go, I'm never getting a cab again. I'm going
Yeah.
to go on Uber.
It was
know
the best
how-
commercial for
It
Uber
was the
ever.
best commercial for Uber of all time.
You know how you get, like, you try and put off the social cues, like, I don't care, like, I'm not interested, let's just not talk about it. Can we enjoy
Yeah, like
the
you
ride in
fake
peace?
like pantomime
you
putting
go,
a gun in your mouth, like that kind of social
or you'd
cue.
be like, huh, and then you get your phone out and you're checking and going, yeah, and just not listening. You'd think you'd get through. Nope.
Oh, I had a 1-hour Uber ride when I was in LA for E3 from Studio City to the Funhouse offices. And the guy talked about spiritual healing the whole time. For an hour, and about how he says mantras every day and that bring him the things that he wants. And it was so horrible that I thought at one point that I could just get out of the car and just tuck and roll and then get another Uber.
Just feign death. You know, I mean, at some point for some of those interactions, just like lay down the backseat, carry a jar of flies with you, and just open it and just like lay there dead.
I've had
Put
this-
coins on your eyes.
I've had a really annoying. I feel like this is just like the complain about shit podcast.
Let's do it.
I've had
Venting.
annoying experiences with Uber recently, and now I don't like Uber. So what will happen is I'll call one on the app, and then someone will accept your ride, and it says they're going to be there in 5 minutes or so. But that's just based on distance, and it isn't actually really accurate. So if they take a wrong turn, that number will go up to like 8 or whatever.
Yeah.
So what's been happening is I'll check. I'll be like 5 minutes. So I'll go and do something for like 4 minutes, and then just check on him again. It still says 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And I realize he's just sat somewhere.
Right.
He's just been sat still. This guy was sat still for 15 minutes, and I was like, I'm canceling this, obviously.
And then
Right.
you get charged for it.
They'll charge me probably. So then I'm like, yeah, I'll wait a bit. Request another one. Same guy accepts it. I'm like, prick, you're not moving. Stop accept, because you can't. There's no one else. He just bags it. He's like, yeah, I'll take that one. And then he just sits there. So it's like only I can't use Uber because this guy is just hogging all of Uber for me. So I
And-
just use Lyft.
And he
There's-
wasn't even like starting to move again. It wasn't like he accepted it like, oh fuck, sorry, I'm
He was
on my
probably,
way.
like, in
he just
line
like
at a
took it
drive-
and was like, ugh.
Yeah, he's probably in line at a drive-thru or something.
Yeah.
Because I could see him parked next to a building.
Right.
It's like, stop accepting my goddamn Uber.
You can
request.
message the guy.
That's what I said to Gavin, and
called
Gavin was
them.
like, I do not want to talk to this person.
I had a guy who's sitting there 5 minutes, and I was like, are you coming to get me? He's like, yeah, I'm on my way. It's like, and I thought the same thing as you. The guy's inside getting a drink somewhere or something,
Yeah,
you know, at
and
7-Eleven.
also, does he get my phone number? when do
I
that?
don't think he does. I think he has
No,
your
he
account.
does.
No, but here's
Oh,
the thing: is
I
like
don't
I
know.
can
Uber
contact
drivers do.
I can
Yeah.
contact the drivers, so I can get their number. You can message them, or
That's right,
you can
she's right.
call them.
Yeah, I just
And
don't want them to
the-
have
so
my number.
Theoretically, they can contact you, right?
Yeah, they see your number. It's just
Can
like
they?
a cell phone call. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. They'll text you.
But it's an automated text whenever they get within a minute distance.
Yeah,
right?
but they can call you, and it'll call your cell phone number
okay.
so
you're
then they'll
right,
have
you're
that
right.
in
I think
your-
I've been called once.
in your phone.
You had a problem with Uber though. Your rating.
Oh yeah, I found out I have a bad rating on Uber, and one of the drivers told me, he goes, He goes, just so you know, it's like, you probably have trouble getting picked up for rides. He goes, but I pick up people no matter what their rating is. And I went, what? He goes, oh, you can't see your ratings, but I can see your rating. You have a low rating. Like most people are like 4.8. You're like a 4.1. Like you're like right. You were 4.
Burnie probably snarked once too many times.
So now I'm like overly nice to fucking Uber.
They're like
people.
making you even lower.
But there was, I think I know what it was. There was one time the first Uber ride I ever took was this guy, and it said rate your thing, and I said, oh, I'd love to rate it, and I clicked on it to rate it, but I didn't realize it would rate it right there, and I gave the guy one star. He was a nice guy.
To be fair, you went in and you spent like 5 minutes navigating not even the app but the website.
Yep.
To re-rate him.
I did,
Yeah,
but
well,
he might have
it's
seen me
because
get the 1, and they gave me a 1.
I've done that before because in the app you can slide from 1 to 5.
Oh, is that what it
You
is?
can go like, whoosh. But if you do it on the email, I went to slide from 1, but it just took the input of 1. It was like, thanks, 1. I was like, oops.
I
went in again and did 5.
Yeah.
I had to report a driver when I was in LA for E3. For my very first time, it was off of Lyft, which I like better than Uber. But I lived in LA for 4 years, so I know when people aren't taking me an optimal way. And this guy not only wasn't taking me like a good way, he took, like, I could see his phone. I'm convinced, by the way, that there's an app for those drivers that looks like Google Maps that takes them like a little bit longer way. So if that's not an app, someone should make it. It's bad for me, but it's a genius app. Anyway, so he had it like on his screen and it was like, take a right. And then he took a left, which wasn't like, oh, he's taking a shortcut. I'm like, I know he's screwing me here.
Yeah.
And then a street was closed. So he was like really fucking me over and he wasn't saying anything like, oh, sorry, I screwed up or anything. He was just like, yeah, like no big deal. Then he almost hits another driver and stops in the middle of the road long enough that I'm like, does he expect me to get out in the middle? Like we've been sitting in the middle of traffic long enough at a stop that I'm like, do I get out now? And then he dropped me off on like the wrong road. And then was like, here you go. And I finally was like, 1 star. I'm reporting you.
I had a problem with Lyft. It was Jack and Blaine and I. It was at E3 as well. We were going to a Ubisoft preview event to do some hands-on before we had the demos on the stage, and so we called a Lyft from the hotel. We get in it, and it's this lady. She's perfectly nice, except that we had to like run down the block to like go to her because she was like, I'm here. I went too far. Come to me. And we're like, oh. And also, by the way, I'm in like a right turn lane, so you better hurry.
Oh gosh.
So she was one of those people. She was just stopped in a right turn lane, like I don't want to. But then she was driving us along, and then she was like, it's right there. So she pulls over and let us out. It was like 2 blocks away, and we had to like navigate through a maze of like little alleys and side streets just to get to where we were going. She had the address, knew exactly where we needed to go, and was like, that's close enough. I'm going to drop you off at this dead end.
God, it's a nightmare.
Amazing.
All right, let me read one last thank you for sponsoring the podcast tonight. This episode of the Rooster Teeth podcast is also brought to you by... I wish they'd had Squarespace when we started off on web stuff. It would have been a lot easier on us, like building a website.
No, yours look great.
What's that? It would have been easier, I said. It would have been a lot easier.
I was also kidding about it looking great.
Yeah, the first one was a little bit rough, and then we hired a couple of
Do you
programmers.
have a screenshot of that? It was basically just like a white site with a menu on the left.
Yeah, and it had little red and blue guys at the top left.
Yeah.
It was basically 2 Master Chiefs that we just like changed the hue on in Photoshop and then threw that up there as well.
So he was back in like Web 1.0.
It's pretty old.
I found the first thing I ever Photoshopped the other day was in like a box of stuff. I made a Tanya Harding figure skating game for like EA for like a fake commercial that we were filming. It was during the whole Tanya Harding thing. So
I found the first thing I ever photoshopped, and it was when I worked here because I didn't know how to use Photoshop. But
Really?
also was Ashley over my shoulder. I'm like, I do what now? What's in here?
I think the first thing I photoshopped was a picture of Gus.
was it really?
Yeah, about 12 years ago.
Dude,
First
it's
thing I
so
Photoshopped-
powerful, that tool.
First thing I photoshopped probably would have been, I probably changed like the colors on some fairies in high school.
You probably faked that website so you get credentials to go to E3.
Oh no, I absolutely did that, but that was after I learned Photoshop.
That was post fairy.
Yeah.
After your
Yeah, that's
fairy
after
phase.
my fairy phase.
I gotcha. All right.
I absolutely did fake my credentials to get into E3 the first time. No, the first 2 years. The first year, it was me and my boyfriend at the time. And the second year, it was us. And then, like, of course, all of our friends. It was fantastic.
Yeah.
So wait, what? You were just forging documents?
No, I made a website. Like, I made a website, and then I made everyone submit articles and everything. But, like, the way I started in the industry in the first place was my very first thing was an American McGee's Alice fan site.
You don't have to tell people that.
Also, won a lookalike contest.
Keep that to yourself.
Thing. It was
Keep
really
it
cool.
inside.
And but I went from there into building a couple of websites, and then I wanted to make like a general one, and that's how we got into E3.
Nice.
Nice.
What's this about a previous boyfriend? I don't know about that.
When
Was
we were
aware
at
of
lunch
this.
the other day, that was so funny. You were like, my last boyfriend, you were like, wait a second, there's been others? Meg, I'm so sorry you had to be here to hear this.
It's like they just talked about a second boyfriend. It's like 2 boyfriends.
2 boyfriends.
How dare you?
Oh yeah, because my first 2 boyfriends had the same name.
I learned so much over where did we go to eat?
Chipotle.
Over Chipotle.
Over Chipotle.
Do you guys always go to lunch together, you three?
What's that?
No.
Not typically. I just know you never take your lovely girlfriend to lunch.
It's
so.
true. We've not once
But
been to lunch
but
together.
but
Well, we
take
work
her
together
frequently.
and live together.
Well, it's
And-
interesting because so do they, and they also go to lunch.
But we
like,
were going to
once or
lunch,
twice a
and
week.
and I saw Meg sitting there.
I'm
I was like,
always like the sad, like,
I said, you know what? I can throw her a pity Chipotle.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Honestly, I don't like going out for lunch.
Liar.
I just like to
And yet
grab
you do.
something from...
Liar.
And yet you do every day.
You go out
No, I
with
don't.
Jeff and all those boys every day.
I haven't been to lunch with Jeff for months. I basically run to HEB and back.
My favorite thing to do is to ruin Gavin's lunch.
Yeah.
The best thing was when I think last time Dan was in town, and they were walking back with.
Went to which?
When they went to Which, where you order your
Lovely.
own sandwich. Did Dan somehow fuck up ordering
Yeah,
Which?
you
Oh,
ruined his
yeah.
Witch
You
Witch by
walked
doing
all the way to
line.
Witch Witch?
No. We went in his car.
But they were walking
Wait, Dan has a car?
Well, he rents one.
when he comes in town.
What?
Dan's a
I just love that like Dan doesn't even live here.
Dan's an
He
adult.
just gets here and he rents a car.
Did I tell you that your mom talked to me about that when we were in Italy?
I don't know.
His mom talked to you.
Yeah, his mom
About
was
his
like,
driving?
All right,
His
let's
mom-
give Meg the floor.
his
What
mom-
did Gavin's mom say to you?
Talk to us, Meg.
His mom and his sister were both like, do you think Gavin will learn to drive this year? Like, they were both like worried that,
They worried about him.
do you encourage him to learn to drive? Like, am I helping you learn to drive enough? And I'm like, I don't think he will learn to drive
Do you
this year. I
feel
don't
do
think
you
this
feel
is the
necessary like
year.
to uphold the American image when you meet with Gavin's family?
No, I don't feel like I feel like I'm representing my country. It's not the Olympics.
Did you
or
say
Oh, I
anything.
totally
yeehaw
would.
at any point?
No.
I would
That's good.
smoke
What
cigarettes
about
the
howdy?
entire like they say, do you think you'll learn to drive? Go. Let me tell you something, sweetie. I'm buying him a gun for Christmas this year. For 4th of July, I'm gonna buy him a gun.
We were in Italy for the 4th of July.
It's true.
Yeah. It wasn't
lovely.
very patriotic.
Yeah. They've stopped celebrating 4th of July in Italy. They've really let it go.
So anyway, we were...
does Italy have an Independence Day? They
From
don't.
what? From what?
From what? They were
Exactly.
never independent of anything.
Well, I only ever heard of one Independence Day.
What?
No, I
Isn't
mean-
there like Mexican Independence Day
Yeah,
as well?
lots
It's
of- lots
not
of
very
countries
good
have
There's
in my
also-
own,
there's
but it's
I mean, a lot of
Independence
There's
company-
also Canadian Independence Day. Australia has Australia Day. So
Well, I mean, a lot of stuff came out of the British Empire, but do
Day.
they
Right,
have
where
days?
everyone is celebrating
Everyone
not
has
being part
days.
of you anymore.
What's your big day? The equivalent of.
Is it called like
Independence
Lost
Day?
All of Our
Queen's
Sweet
birthday?
Shit Day?
I assume
The
it'd be
Navy
the.
Saint Day.
Queen's birthday, maybe?
I assume it'd be St. George's Day, which is in May, I think.
What's that about?
It's when St. George killed the last dragon.
Get the fuck out of here.
What?
Is that what
Isn't
they
it?
did of
I
Saint?
love how you think we're assholes for celebrating not having you guys around anymore, but you're like, yay, dragons!
Well, I mean, we nailed it. We started the empire. What are we going to celebrate leaving?
My favorite thing when
What's
Gavin and I
Jubilee?
first started dating was that he
like
didn't know
the
anything
Queen's-
about American history whatsoever. So he'd be like, when we were talking about the Revolutionary War, and you were like, oh yeah, we sent like 5 guys that. We didn't care that you guys were leaving. And I'm like, so wrong. So wrong,
Well, the
Gavin.
thing is about history in my school was that you learn about.
St. George killed a dragon,
Yeah.
by the way. Yep, he's right. That's
You know
not-
your
that's
Dutch
not-
history.
We need
Like-
to reassess
Don't
that
know any
sainthood.
of your
Like
yeah,
a
I mean,
Komodo
obviously
dragon?
it's a load
Oh,
of
like dragon.
made up wank, but that's what we celebrate. I think that's like England Day, St. George's Day.
What do you think the dragon actually
How do you-
was?
if you're George, because you're not St. George until they give you the sainthood.
Yeah.
You're really just George.
Don't you
until
have to
that point.
die to become a saint?
But when they're going, oh, is that what it is? But when they're talking about it, do you just like, yeah, killed the dragon. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was
Totally did it. It was
But-
huge.
But every
What,
every
some
legend
woman
or
with white
whatever,
hair
even
on it?
every fib has a basis in truth, right? What was that dragon? Was it like a salamander, like this
I think
thing?
you just made it up.
I
Well, there
bet it
are
was
dragons. It might have just been a little Komodo dragon.
in
Who's that?
England?
Yeah, you know, Pangea and then dragons in England.
A British or European Komodo dragon.
Yeah.
But anyway, what I'm
He could
saying
have
is,
been there,
British or
but he
African?
killed them all.
Damn
is that you learn some things in history. You learn about, the
Dragons,
Tudors.
apparently.
You learn about the fake dragons. You learn about all this like British stuff. Actually, I learned about JFK, which is American, but that was it. I never learned about all the people that left and went to form other countries.
It was a big deal for you.
But was it though? We just carried on.
It was. It was a big deal. And you're just like, oh,
No, it was a big deal. Didn't they just basically give India back and Hong Kong?
Yeah, we gave a lot back.
Yeah. Like,
still got
you
the
guys
Commonwealth.
fought really hard for America.
You did.
And you probably shouldn't have.
Which is
You
weird
did fight
because
hard for
Canada
America.
was peaceful independence. Australia was peaceful independence. At that point, the UK, England was just like, yeah, go ahead.
I also like that France kicked in.
Yeah, well, France is the only reason we actually have a country.
It is
Thanks,
true.
France.
And a very, very nice statue.
Yes.
And then they fought us like 8 years later or some such. 20 years later, we're battling them.
I don't know. America, even though it's so recent in age, it
Yeah.
has a lot of messed up history.
Yeah, but so
Cruelty from the government.
Okay, to be fair.
What? Like when
like what?
when they were at war with Japan and all of the Japanese people in America got put into a camp.
That's
Yes.
They
true.
were Americans.
That is very, very true.
That is-
To be fair, there were several
He has a
camps.
point.
Yeah, that was,
Yeah.
not one camp.
But either way, there's
Several.
stuff
It was
like
a bunch
that.
of camps.
And obviously
Including
England,
George Takei.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah, he
obviously-
like grew up in an internment camp.
Obviously England is awful too, history.
Go ahead.
But we're so old. We go we go back really far.
here's
so it's
the
like
thing, is you
people were
just-
worse back then.
You just have so much ground to cover that you only get to hit the really major points. The U.S. is young enough that you can like dwell on every little
Yeah, the
detail.
US
like,
is like-
every
Yeah.
every little internment camp.
Well, I will say one thing about America, though.
But why?
America does a thing where we have a lot of different races in one place. And traditionally, most other countries don't have that.
That's not true.
And that's absolutely true.
England
And
has
they just did it
loads of
along-
races.
I have not seen anything but white people. in
England
I live
has
in a-
loads now, but it wasn't always the
Not
case.
even now.
No,
I've not
no,
seen
no, no.
one not white person in
No,
Tame.
I live in a very classic farmer market town in the south of England. There's not many different races there. But, London and places, loads.
But
Fair
also,
enough. Birmingham,
the whole world is
Manchester.
not London and America either, right? So
What?
I guess it's true. So we have on display a lot of the racial tensions in America, but when you go to other countries, racism is entirely different because there's nobody of different races when you go to those places, and it's way more intense in those other places. Just we keep all of our issues at the forefront all the time, and we put them on display basically.
Yes and
Because we don't
no.
try to hide. We don't try to hide them.
Australia is actually like very racist as well, but it's bizarrely like casually racist. Like on
They have
Australia,
protests.
like on Australia Day when they're like it's like the equivalent of 4th of July. Everyone's wandering around with bats, getting into race wars.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
just
France-
that's
France had
just
riots
what
where they
you
were
do. I went to
burning down
this one
suburbs.
town that was known for like it was a great Australia Day. Had a lovely time at the beach, and there were a whole bunch of people walking around with bats,
Bats.
just in case of fun times. It was super weird.
You're only supporting my point.
Yeah.
Like that's way more intense.
Well, that
Racism.
country
Although
did
I
start
do
from
feel
criminals,
like
right?
we live in Texas, and there are places in Texas that are still not
Oddly
safe.
enough,
any
one of the
other
most
race.
law-abiding countries there is.
Yeah.
Oh, no, listen. I'm not saying America doesn't have racial tension. That's not the point I was trying to
wow.
make. I'm just saying that the rest of the world sometimes acts like we're the only ones that have racial tension.
That's fair enough.
When that is not at all the case.
No, that's not the
That
case.
is not the case. Hey, did we
very
talk about
real.
the guy the dentist who shot the lion yet?
We
What
talked
an
about it
asshole.
on the spot.
Here's the good news.
Cecil the lion.
I read an article saying that his brother, who's been protecting the Cubs, Jericho, got killed.
Yeah.
Turns out he hasn't.
Yeah, he's alive
That's
still.
a load off.
It turns out that he is also a lion,
Yes.
which was written in the CNN news story. His brother, who is also a lion. Oh, really?
Really?
That was actually the wording of
They
that
had to
article.
call that out.
Yeah.
I got to read you a quote. Hopefully I can find this before we shut down.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
His brother, who by some quirk of fate is half cheetah.
His brother, who happens to be a giraffe,
Yeah.
is been taking care of the
Damn.
Cubs.
What?
I got to find this article. I might have saved it. I think I saved it on my desktop computer.
Oh, do you remember that story about the 2 giraffes that were being transported down the motorway? They were just stood in the truck bed.
What?
What is
Yeah.
that like? Isn't that a Hangover joke?
No.
Was that, well,
Oh,
it
was it?
happens in the trailer
Oh, it
for the
happened in real
Hangover
life too.
movie.
Like, apparently one of the giraffes banged its head on a bridge and died.
Yeah, that's in the trailer for the Hangover, the last Hangover movie.
The second
I
one
haven't
was...
seen the movies,
Wait,
but I
what's
just saw
the
the
The first
trailer.
one was good. The
Was
second
there-
one was
How many
toilet.
were there?
There was 3.
I don't know.
And the third one was... I didn't even see it.
I never saw the third one.
Oh, here it is. Here it is. I can't believe I found this article. This is probably one of the best things ever.
Cool.
No, I'm gonna find the section of it.
Okay.
It was talking about Nicolas Cage, and he woke up, and there was a
Okie
there was a
dokie.
guy, a stalker in his house,
Oh yeah.
standing
naked.
at the foot of his bed, and eating a fudgesicle. He was naked eating a fudgesicle. It says, and Nicolas Cage, it was 2 a.m. I was living in Orange County at the time, and was asleep with my wife. My 2-year-old son was in another room. I opened my eyes, and there's a naked man wearing my leather jacket, eating a fudgesicle in front of my bed. I was terrified.
Question.
Hold on. And then the article says right after that, a fudgesicle is a chocolate frozen treat. Why is that the clarification point they want to make?
Here's the question. Was it, in fact, a frozen treat, or was it an entirely different kind of fudgesicle? Because
who knows?
if there's a dude at the foot of your bed, naked, wearing your jacket, and eating anything, are you sure it's actually an ice cream fudgesicle?
Was it Nicolas Cage's fudgesicle, or did he bring it in with it?
I didn't clarify that. Once again, they're leaving out all the important details.
Stuff.
I love, though, it's like that whole scenario, and then they immediately clarify. A fudgesicle is a chocolate frozen
Do you
treat.
think that that's like they went into the writers' meeting? They were like, "All right, great." The editor's like, "Yeah, looking over your your article here, looks good. I do think some viewers might not know what a fudgesicle is, so I'm going to need you to go ahead and clarify at the very end here
gotta
what
clarify.
is
Sounds
fudgesicle."
exactly like that.
I got it actually right here. It's the Reuters article. I will post this in the journal. It is. He was eating a fudgesicle in front of my bed. He told reporters, "I know it sounds funny, but it was very, very horrifying. A fudgesicle is a frozen ice cream-like snack."
Adds Reuters. Also, you call it Reuters.
I like that that's presented.
No.
You call it Reuters?
I call it Reuters.
Reuters.
Yeah.
It's
Reuters.
presented like
Reuters.
a quote, but it's a quote
Which
by the
is weird.
news people.
Yeah.
Yeah, the news people like
You don't
clarified.
quote yourself. Otherwise, the whole article would be a quote, wouldn't it?
I just like the idea of like that shit's fucked up, says Reuters.
We actually, speaking of stuff and words, we were going to argue about GIF and GIF.
Oh no, we're not gonna argue. We were. Listen,
Why?
dude, you made a point in the car.
I did.
That finally made me see the reason for calling it a GIF, and
Nope.
now you can't remember the argument you made.
I can come up with something similar.
Yeah,
It was basically this. English makes no sense.
Sure,
Yeah, no,
octopodes.
it's a mess.
It's a mess.
But that's
They-
also an argument
like,
for why we should be able to call it GIF.
Yep.
Sure.
Anything
And
that's
you can.
colloquialized is right.
But it gets into like you can't say G. G is never just one sound. It's two sounds. You can choose what it is.
What do you mean?
Depends
G's
on the
never
word.
one sound.
It can be a G or a J.
You know, also once again, argument that can go both ways.
Sure.
So I can say GIF.
But the idea is if you make a word, you decide how the word sounds, right?
Yeah.
So the guy who made GIF gets to decide how it sounds, right?
Like you can't
Right,
tell
but
someone.
society
Acronym,
gets
though.
You
to
can't tell someone how their name is
colloquialize it.
pronounced. Like I can't tell you how your name is pronounced. I can't tell your name is Mag.
Or Meeg.
Meeg.
No, but you do get all the
me.
But-
People call me Megan all the time.
Megan?
Or Megan.
no, but
Megan.
people get to decide how their names are pronounced, right?
Right.
Like they're crazy out left field names.
Sure, no. When
They
somebody's
still get to
named
decide how-
something, you can't name your kid something, and someone else goes, "Name isn't Jeff, it's Goff."
Right. Well, this guy named it GIF.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
That's
but
I'm,
it's not
I'm
a
arguing
name.
along with you now.
It's not a
Cool, okay,
name.
cool.
It's a noun, and colloquially,
It's a
GIF.
word.
So
It's
yeah,
a word,
but it
that
is
that
a
guy-
noun.
It's a word that guy made and decided how it sounded.
It's a name.
Sure. Well,
It's a type
it's
of
not
image
a
format.
name.
It's an image format.
It's not
But
a name.
Most
it's
G
a noun.
words are G.
Jeff.
That's a name, though.
Yeah, but that's
Say
not a
words.
name.
Giraffe.
He didn't name
Alright,
a
say
baby
a
yet.
word that I haven't said already.
Giraffe.
Yeah, I already said giraffe earlier. He banged his head on a bridge and died. One
I'm
more
just
G word.
saying-
Fridge.
You can't just put it in the middle. It's got to start with the G.
Now you're just making up
No,
rules.
because it starts with
Jeff.
a G. Right. So no Jeff, no giraffe. A G word that starts with a J.
George.
Okay, and wait.
Another
Once
name.
again, a name.
Right,
he did
give me
not make a
one.
name.
Give me one,
He
let's
made
go.
a noun.
Let's do it.
It's a new word.
Gender.
Sure, but it is a noun.
really
It is
good,
not a
actually.
We're
name.
playing
Gerund.
twos. All right, here we go.
There we go. So
Gerund.
this is our on the spot.
Gentleman.
Gerund.
Gentlemen. No, yeah, you're nailing it now.
Gentleman's good.
My point fell apart.
Again,
Either way,
colloquially.
it's mostly G.
Well, here's the thing. I was
Junt.
just telling Gavin the octopodes spiel, which if you've never seen the like Google octopodesdictionary.com, there's a woman who explains
Nobody's
that,
seen that, by the way. Go ahead.
Octopi is actually wrong because it's a Greek word and the Greek plural is octopodes.
I thought it was octopodes.
Octopus. We
So-
talked about this too the other day. Octopi.
Isn't that one of the two?
It's octopodes is the correct word, but colloquially octopi has been so accepted that it is also correct. So GIF would also be correct because colloquially it's also accepted.
Okay, fair point. But I would also want to point out too, I don't like the fact that if we get stuff wrong long enough, it becomes right. I also don't like that.
Deal with it.
Geography,
Oh shit! Hold on.
gerbil,
Hold on. Stop.
Georgia.
Let's all stop spelling you.
I also
Giant
think it's a
correct.
GIF. I don't think it's a
Hold
One
GIF.
of the examples is giant panda.
Oh come on!
What's that?
There was a deal with the glasses that I did the whole like slow come down and they totally
You know what we need? We need
missed
that
it.
like on a rope where we can
Yeah,
lower
like
it.
we
And you try to get it right.
Those are great glasses.
I
Why do we have
I
so
think
many
it's
glasses?
a
I don't know. I just
gift
found
as well. I don't think
Do you
it's
think
a
we should
gift.
end the podcast at some point?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Gus isn't
Someday.
here, so we probably should do that.
Like, there's no one doing it. Or
You're-
should we just keep going?
you're
Like,
in the
how
chair.
long will they stay in there working?
I will read the. Let me read what they have to say on the website real quick, and then we'll go.
Oh, there's socks.
Oh, I should point out
Just
that I'm
one.
wearing my socks from Olga K. Gave me these socks. These are her
Nice.
moosh walk socks.
Let's get a close-up. We promised her a close-up, right?
There we go. No, we don't need a close up. That's fine.
I want
I can do
another
this.
one of these. Whoever owns the other one of these,
There you
give
go,
me
Patrick. There's your close up
Because I want it.
on that camera.
Bernie,
There we go.
Nice.
You got a
Fancy.
Zoo magazine.
Bernie,
Look at
is this the other? Like, did this come with him?
No, those aren't mine.
Oh, whose
Wow.
sock is it?
All right, we've lost control here on the couch.
What? I don't know what you're
I
talking
feel like
about.
we got a lot off our chests
It was a very
in that
complaining
podcast.
podcast.
Do you?
Yeah.
Oh.
Don't you just feel like lighter?
We can talk about this later. It's fine. I'm ready.
I feel a
ready
little
to
bit.
end.
Is there anything you want to get off your
Wait,
chest?
No,
what?
I'm ready to
Any-
end.
this is a safe place, Gavin. Anything you want to get off your chest about your relationship?
No, I like it. I'm happy.
I feel like Bernie just loaded that because he wants to say something.
No, I'm fine. I'm fine.
Oh, wait, are we going somewhere with this?
You maybe spent too much time on the cat, but that's okay. Knowing the cat was going to come back anyway. But it's all good.
Wait,
It's all
what?
good.
What about the cat?
A little bit too much time on the cat.
Who?
We both did. It was like 2 weeks of our lives trying to find that stupid cat.
What's like we hired so many people, and in the end, someone just like read the number on his collar and called us.
Do you
That's
say,
it.
Do your
Just a
sunglasses
tag on the
say
collar.
Sunglasses on them?
They do.
They say pun glasses. All right, I want to thank you for watching the Rooster Teeth podcast. We have RTX this week. So next week when we are on the screen, we'll be very tired.
So the next podcast will be the one that we record at RTX, right?
We will record it at RTX, so the time after that we'll be very tired. We want to thank our sponsor, Hut. Thanks, everybody. Bye.
Love you.